R.I.P. Chuck Norris, chat. R.I.P. Walker, Texas Ranger, chat. R.I.P. Genuinely so fucking sad. Not that I was like a huge Chuck Norris fan or anything, but just just like a big part of my childhood, you know? Not even just the TV shows and the movies, but the memes. Genuinely such a fucking bummer, dude. Hey Ornix, hey Crafty, how's it going, guys? Hey Rofo, how's it going, everybody? Damn, why the chat so active today? Damn. We had a long ass just chatting screen. What the fuck? How's everybody doing? I did hear about Chuck Norris. I did hear about one of my favorite gingers. Come on, man. I'm glad you're excited to see me, Crafty. And no, unfortunately, I do not have a plushie. I am nowhere near big enough for that yet. I am nowhere near big enough for that yet, but what I am pretty big sounds wrong. What I am close enough to, though, is we will have YouTube memberships open soon, which is like, it's like subs, not, well, subs on YouTube are a different thing. It's like paid memberships. We're gonna have that shit on YouTube soon. Hey, Yuta, welcome in, buddy. Guess who's starting to get into the Kamen Rider franchise? Yuta, it only took you forever. It only took you too long. Too long, brother. What are you watching? Are you watching Zets? Are you checking out something else? Tell me all about it, dude. He's not dead. He's just astral projecting for the rest of eternity. Honestly, you know what, man? If I go to sleep and I have a dream with Chuck Norris in it, I'm gonna make sure that I start streaming at like 4 a.m. and be like, guys, you won't believe it. Here's a diagram of my loving dream with a Chuck Taylor, Chuck Norris. Oh my god, dude. Genuinely such a bummer. But you know what's not a bummer? Learning about fucking Warhammer lore. Lorm? Lore. Chuck Norris does that. You don't dream of Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris dreams of you. When we go to war, when we, the Twitter fucking losers, go to war with the blue sky losers, the only one that can stop it is Chuck Norris. And also, speaking of Chuck Norris, this was not at all. This was not at all a part of the. This was not at all a part of the thing. Hold on. Do you guys remember the Ultimate Showdown of Ultimate Destiny? If I can type, there we go. You guys remember the Ultimate Showdown of Ultimate Destiny? I was already a fan of Ultraman, and now I'm reading. Oh, you're reading the Kuga manga. Oh, that's cool. What the fuck? I never got far enough into the Kuga manga to. Nah, we're not doing this 4K bullshit. Absolutely not. I didn't get far enough into the Kuga anime. Kuga manga. I mean, but I know it like combines with Agito, and it's like a whole thing. The only reason why we're listening to this is because Chuck Norris is in it, and also because it's incredible. Yeah. If you look back at Discord, you'd have posted Art of his Kamen Rider at the beginning of it. Wait, what? I have terrible fucking memory. I have absolutely terrible memory. That's very possible. I saw some Kamen Rider build episodes that were free on YouTube. Really? Yeah, you should get on that. You should 100% get on that. Bunny, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay to think I'm actually a hot lady and find out that I'm actually just a hot boy pretending to be a hot purple mimic lady on the internet. That's okay. That's okay. There's no reason to feel weird about it. You know this shit is 16 years ago? You know this shit is 16 whole years ago? I actually think it's older than that, no lie. I actually think it's way older than that. This was a 45 times a day type shit. I got a decorative gladius and the previous owner sharpened it? What the fuck? That's awesome. Is it sharp enough to like cut something, or is it like sharp enough to accidentally give yourself a paper cut on type shit? This was my first exposure to the Care Bear stare, by the way. I was not a Care Bear kid at all. Which like is kind of surprising because I did fuck with the Care Bear movies. They were kind of good for what it was worth. Kid movies and animated films are not much. They weren't really much of a big deal back then. Here we go. R.I.P. Like Spider-Man doing that Rider taking the brand new day trailer. Get fucked, Indy. What the hell's the name of that actor? Harrison Ford? R.I.P. R.I.P. our goat. And then everybody else on the planet. And then literally everybody else from fiction. And then literally anybody who's ever been on a film screen or on a page. Oh my god, we were just talking tofu. Hi, Super Sentai. I mean Power Rangers. I mean racist wrestlers. But who won? But eventually, the rest on the better. Mr. Rogers and a protein sweater. I almost had it. I almost had it. I only kind of remembered the song, only like a little bit. When are we going to do the Digital Circus episode 8? Oh, did that come out today? Did that come out today? You know what's so funny? If Digital Circus episode 8 came out today, and then also Invincible season 4 started today, that'd be fucking crazy. That'd be fucking crazy. What an insane day for content. I just got here. I love Lemon Demon. Absolutely, dude. Lemon Demon goes crazy. You guys know Neo Cicierga, the guy behind Lemon Demon, does like a bunch of insane mashups. Damn, we could sit here and do this shit all day. We're supposed to be doing Warhammer. What app do you use for your VTuber model? I use VTube Studio to run the model, and then I have VBridger enabled, which is like the Apple AR kit, like better mouth tracking thingy. But yeah. It does it 3 for you, man. Depending on what time it drops, depending on what time it comes out while we're streaming, I don't know, man. We might check that shit out if it's out by the time we finish the 40K lore video, and then probably 2 hours. Damn, that shit's longer than I thought it was. That's okay. That's okay. Yeah, don't even worry about it, Ellie. Chat, chat, we might do the good YouTuber thing, we might not, I don't know yet. But for anybody in the audience that somehow does not know what Warhammer 40K is, me too. I only kind of know 40K. I only kind of know 40K. I know Space Marines. I know Mechanus, right? I know I think that is about it. Hold on. There's like a saying that the Space Marines say. For the Emperor, I know that. I played Bolt Gun. I played Bolt Gun for like 5 hours or something. Hey, Miss Chalice, welcome in. How you doing? 5 or 8 hours away. We'll see. We will see. But okay, you're underrated. Who knows the English language? I sure as fuck don't. You're underrated and you look cool. Oh, thanks, Ellie. I hope you enjoy the channel. We got dude, we got a lot of shit on the YouTube. I was looking back earlier today, like looking at my analytics and all that good shit, realizing how close we are to memberships. And I was like, damn, there's a lot of fucking content on this YouTube channel, dude. Jesus. I have like almost 300 videos. What the hell? But ladies and gentlemen, it's finally time. It's finally time for us to dive into Warhammer. And by us, I mean me. And by us, I mean me. I'm using the stream as an excuse to get into Warhammer. Which I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Depending on how hard Bricky sells this to us, I don't know. Maybe we get like some miniatures. Maybe we get like some miniatures or something. By the way, Bricky, previously known as Bricky Orchid 8 of I think his merch place is Orchid 8. I think it actually is just Orchid 8. Go support. Bricky's very funny. Bricky's very talented. I'm sure you guys have seen him collaborating with like a bunch of YouTubers and shit. You guys might have seen his old League of Legends content, and that's how originally I found him. But yeah, go check out Bricky. Go support Bricky. They are funnier than me. I am open enough to say that. They are funnier than me, but are they as VTuber as me? I don't think so. I don't see no purple skin over here, brother. But yeah, we're gonna watch the video. Hi, Pra. How are you doing? Hey, hi, hello. My Kamen Rider story has elements of Resident Evil. The source of the powers and origin of the monsters is an adaptive biotechnological virus created by a company that can describe as a combination between Chakra and Umbrella. Oh, so like Foundation X. But why can't I fucking talk today? Oh my god! Like Foundation X from early Heisei. Hell yeah, that's cool as fuck, Yuta. That's cool as hell. But we're gonna watch. How long is this video? I probably should have looked at these things before I set up an entire stream, huh? 31 minutes, bro. Light work. Cake, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Tell us all about the lore, Bricky.
In the grim darkness of the 41st millennium exists
41st.
The Empire of Man, a backwards carcass of an empire comprised of many devoted forces, gigantic robot knights, religious machine cultists,
hold on, what?
and incredibly heavily armored women.
Okay, hold on. I know this is a little early. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of insanely beautiful fucking art just getting blasted into my eyeballs. Also, how far are we in? 18 seconds in? Is 18 seconds in too fast to be like, I lost? It's over. Hot armored ladies with guns and torches. A torch backpack? Am I actually already in? What the fuck?
Most likely with sweltering abs, and one must know
God damn
what those abs taste like.
I need some delicious sweat on the tip of my tongue. Oh, it's actually an ad. We've been finagled. We've been finessed. Use code MIMIC at checkout to get absolutely nothing.
My gamer subs
Oh, it's his flavor?
Here.
We're not going to skip the ad chat.
Six-pack has arrived. A delicious and refreshing cherry pineapple blend.
Cherry pineapple, huh? Ooh. Hold on, that shit actually sounds kind of good. Wait a minute.
Yes, my Bricky's official gamer subs flavor is here.
Missed the opportunity to call it bricked up, but I appreciate it.
Energy mode, but also in caffeine free. The
Whoa!
cherry pineapple flavor is not the kind of flavor that just smacks you in the face. It is light, it is refreshing, and it's one of those things where you sip it and you go,
shit out of this.
Not bad. And next thing you know, you are having your fourth refill the same
Dude,
day.
no lie, no lie. I'm about to go on Gamer Subs and look this shit up. Is it still available?
Use code Bricky
in the description. Hold on.
Your entire
Hold on.
order.
Breaking immersion.
Not just for this, but for everything you buy. And I'm not dumb.
Use code Bricky.
Buy any of these tubs, regular.
Oh, it is still here. Oh, can't get the cup. Can't get the cup, chat. Sorry.
Muscle Girl 32-ounce shaker, completely.
Damn. You're telling me I missed out on the Muscle Mommy shaker? God damn. $40, bro. Gamer Subs is actually so like mad affordable. Actually, chat, go buy sweet 6-pack. Go buy some hot anime lady sweat.
For free. There are only a couple thousand of those.
Simply a post-apocalyptic world because the company not only lost control of the virus but also released it on an overpopulated artificial island. That sounds cool as fuck, Yuta. Wait a minute.
You'll be like, yeah,
this is good ass fanfic.
Damn straight does it track. Sweet 6-pack.
Hey Shadow, hi Ivan.
Code Bricky, link in.
Yeah, code Bricky. Go buy that shit. Yeah, drink that ad. Honestly, good ad, Bricky.
The age of knowledge and enlightenment has ended.
Oh, sorry. Small brains.
The age of darkness has begun.
I'm a Dark Souls guy. I can get down with the Age of Darkness. I extinguished the fire.
60 million years ago, there existed aliens.
Based.
These aliens
Sure.
lived
Got it.
short, painful lives. They
sounds like
belonged
humans.
to radiation-stricken worlds and often died of various cancers before the age of 30. These aliens,
Yikes.
the Necron-tier, looked up to the stars and found extreme beings of real power. Beings with the ability to
like
create
eldritch
life,
horrors?
the old ones of
They
the
are.
galaxy. They asked these old ones for help. Please cure us of our ailments. To which the old ones said, piss off. So the Necron-tier gathered together and did the sensible
real quick, code Bricky because you get fucking bricked. Absolutely. I'm watching this stream on max volume. Turn that shit all the way up. I need you to rip your speakers in half. Everybody, VOD watchers, I see you. You beautiful bastard. Put it on max volume. But put it in your headphones, put it in max volume, and annihilate your eardrums.
thing. They declared
Not actually,
war
though.
upon these
Don't hurt
old
yourself.
beings and were promptly
Unless.
beaten into the dirt back to their short, painful lives. In the world of Warhammer, there is a hell. This hell is not like you and I know it. It's more of
Super
an
hell.
afterlife, a place where dead souls end.
Thanks for the follow,
This
Chalice.
place has many names: the Empyrean, the Sea of Souls, the Immaterium, and the Ether. But
Wait, what the
mostly,
hell? These are
we just
amazing
call it the
names.
Warp. While you and I
Oh, wait,
know
I've heard of the Warp.
hell as a place of horrors and punishment, the Warp isn't really that. Not in the beginning. It's energy, but the kind of energy formed
It's like
from
the live
thought
stream.
and soul, psychic energy, where the dead souls of
Oh.
people end up in a place
Yeah,
that
put me
is
on the living room.
impossible to understand.
Let everybody
No
be blessed with the
laws
lore.
of reality exist. Like, time is merely a suggestion, and it is not something that can be braved easily. The Warp would be like sailing the ocean in a pirate movie. To jump from your ship would be certain death. To stay in the sea for too long on your boat
Also certain
could
death.
drive a man mad. And there are many dangerous things lurking in those depths. Yet, the sea is not evil. It simply is. Mostly. There are more
Mostly,
malevolent
he
beings
says.
in those waters.
Okay. You almost had me, Bricky. You almost had me going, you know what? Maybe it's not that bad. Maybe I could fuck around with the Warp. Maybe I could hang out, get like a nice little summer home, take some vacations there. Nope. Sorry. Super Satan. He's also here.
Areas that you do not sail towards. This would be known as the realm of chaos.
Oh,
The
normal
realm of
hell.
chaos
Got it.
exists in the Warp as a special area led by 3 chaos gods. Khorne, the god of combat, murder, and slaughter, with a pile of skulls taken in his name. Tzeentch, god of change,
Hold on.
mystery,
Hold on. I need to move. This, I don't know what it is. I saw this and I went, this is incredible. This is peak fantasy name. What the fuck? This is peak fantasy name, dude.
deceit, a confusing paradox of lies, schemes, and sorceries. And Nurgle, god
Well, I
of
know
rot,
Nurgle.
pestilence, and Genshin impact. All
Yep.
things rot in the
All
end.
things
And Grandfather
disgusting.
Nurgle is waiting for you with open arms.
This this motherfucker is Challenger in League of Legends. What's it called in Marvel Rivals? Is it also Challenger? Whatever the highest tier that is, he's that. He's Predator rank. He's whatever the big dick one is in Deadlock. This man has not left his computer chair literally ever.
These gods
Living the
ruled
dream.
their respective realm in the Warp, sending their many followers against each other in the great game to be the most powerful of all the gods. So the Warp exists. Hell is real, parallel to our galaxy.
And there's also
with the
a
realm of
war
chaos and
happening.
its gods fighting for control. But there are also gods of real space, gods of the normal world too.
Before we get into the normal world, I know Warhammer has like a bunch of different video games. I don't know shit about shit, right? I don't know literally anything about Warhammer besides miniatures, orcs, and Nurgle, apparently. Do we have a video game that takes place in the Warp, or a video game where the Warp is really like a big deal, like a big central area or something like that? Because again, what are we, less than 6 minutes deep? Bro, I'm fucking fascinated. I want to see the Warp. I want to see the Warp in a video game.
They're called Catan, and they eat stars.
You think
Based. Sure.
God stays in heaven
I
because
wonder what stars
he
taste
too
like.
lives in fear of what he's created?
These
Probably,
star
like, really
gods
spicy.
saw the plight of our poor Necron tier and how the old ones cast them aside and said, you know what? You guys want immortality? Oh, we will make it happen. We are the gods of the tangible, of real space.
Wow.
We can give
Thanks-
you a cure.
Thanks for the immortality,
So then
buddy.
they ate all their souls.
Ah, Not my kind of
and
immortality.
turn them into robotic automaton, feasting on their souls and leaving
Oh.
a hollow shell of an intelligence
Oh
left
my
that is
fucking god,
technically
Jesus.
immortal. With the power of
Oh,
an
is this the
entire
Mechanus?
species' souls, they turned their new robotic slaves on the old ones and hunted them to extinction. The Necron tier, now the soulless, undying
Necrons.
got their wish at
Oh,
the price
these
of
aren't
their souls.
the
But we can
Mechanus machine
count
cult
the number
people?
of kind gods on an amputated hand. With time, the selfish star gods turned on each other, fighting one another for more chances at glory and power. With this, the leader of the Necrons, Zarek, the Silent King, the
Peak
man who
fantasy
doomed his
names.
species
I
when he
love them so
accepted this
much.
deal, waited, planned, bide his time until he seized the perfect moment and turned his legions of undead citizens against the star gods. Gods cannot be killed, but they can be broken. So Zarek broke the star gods into thousands of pieces and locked them away
literally
in vaults,
broken,
taking their free will away as they did to them, and sealed them away as basically Pokemon to be used as weapons in the future.
Honestly, kind of amazing. It's Pikachu!
It's the Void Dragon.
Zarek then, with his perfect memory, exiled himself for his sins, flying out to the darkness between galaxies.
That's a
to
sick-ass
atone
idea
for
for a
what he had
secondary.
done. This entire situation, the genocide of the old ones and the rebellion of Zarek, will go down.
Hold on, Ornix, are you 40k pilled? Are you over here with like actual lore? Oh shit, I'm gonna start directing some of my questions at you for real, chat. What the hell? I didn't know we had 40k heads in chat. Warhammer is practically the perfect blend of cosmic horror and action movies from the 60s to 90s. All I gotta say is that you're gonna love the orcs. I've heard that before. I've been told that before.
In history as the War in Heaven. It is
Holy
the most
shit,
brutal
that's so
war
raw.
the galaxy has ever seen and ever will see. This was a conflict that took an entire galaxy-spanning species and pitted them against gods that ate stars. The Necrons, rather crippled from, the war in heaven, decided
everything.
to go to sleep in gigantic tomb worlds on various planets until the upstart species of the galaxy died out. And so turns out when you have a war that lasts tens, hundreds,
Enclave, this is like my first exposure to Warhammer lore for real.
Genociding of multiple species, the
as one does,
and the consumption of souls from an entire race, the warp gets a little wacky.
It gets a little wibbly wobbly.
And it was nice and calm. Korn is over there splashing about, so you don't really go in that direction. Nurgle has explosive diarrhea, so you don't really go in that direction either.
He's got
but
logs.
You can still kind of get in the pool. The pool's still fine. Turns out when you add a couple trillion souls to that kiddie pool, it'll make the waves a little more turbulent.
Pretty big fucking deal.
A lot of them like to pick a side. Nurgle, Tzeentch, or Khorne. So the ones called
is there any such thing as peace? Is there any such thing as peace? What the fuck? Everything is war. Everything is war. Did the algorithm put you here? No. I've had these in my watch later for a while now. And I was just thinking about it, I'm like, man, it's been so long since we did like a nice chill react stream. Maybe it's time that I learn about Warhammer. I really like the sound of the Marines. Khorne!
Warp, the once relaxing kiddie pool, has now been bloated. 1,000,000 years of war will certainly make Khorne, god of murder and slaughter, more powerful. 1,000,000 years of war will probably make Tzeentch, god of deception and change, a little more powerful. And good god, 1,000,000 years of war will make Nurgle, god of decay, just the tiniest bit more powerful.
The primal
now, entering
stink.
that kiddie pool is no longer fun, it's dangerous.
The closest thing we have to it is the salamanders.
Hell is resembling hell a lot closer to what we imagined it originally. The Sea of Souls and the Realm of Chaos are now intertwined. So who else?
Dude, if you die, you're going here no matter what. This shit sucks.
Need to deal with that.
The Age of the Eldar. Bro, they're immortal? Make me an Eldar.
Elves. They have a lot of the
Space
traits that
elves?
you probably think of when you think of elves. Tall, slender, pointy ears, bit more androgynous looking, no matter what DeviantArt will tell you, and a bit stronger on the emotional side. The old ones, as I mentioned, could create life. And when they were getting, you know, absolutely bodied by the Catan and the Necrons, they made some new races to try to help them. One of them was the Eldar.
Hold on, dude. There's no way the old ones just went, yeah, let me go ahead and cook up. Let me go ahead and just cook up some space elves to help us out. That's fucking crazy.
Them, but they're here now anyway. Oh, and also the orcs, but
oh, there they are.
Right now.
Oh, the orcs have a video game?
The Eldar are a particularly psychically powerful race.
I'm pretty sure that was a video
really
game.
Adept at being able to handle the new turbulent warp of chaos and good at killing Necrons. Hence why they went to
as you would hope.
Psychically gifted is basically like being a wizard, but you get your
wizard money game
from hell. This is called being a psyker. And basically, if you want to do cool wizard shit like lightning from your hands or reading someone's mind, you can do that, but you siphon the energy to do that from the warp. Luckily, the Eldar are very good at handling this without too many negative effects because, you know, summoning power from the Sea of Souls with the new Chaos Friends can be a bit of an issue, but Eldar are pretty good at it. And you see, what's really cool and also awful about Warhammer is that most developed species travel long, faster than light distances by going through that warp. They create
what the hell
in reality to unreality and move through it. Faster than light travel? Cringe. We go through hell itself to deliver your packages. For those of you—
Wait, what the fuck? Dude, the warp is so unbelievably integral to Warhammer. I thought this was just going to be like, oh, the warp is the afterlife. Here's where like a bunch of the evil shit comes from. Here's like the baseline of the origins of the universe. You travel through the warp just so you can fucking fast travel? That's crazy. That's fucking crazy, dude. Thanks for hitting the like button, Cecil.
You who play Minecraft, you know how the Nether is like a pocket dimension? So moving 10 spaces in the Nether is actually moving something like 1,000 in the real world.
I did not know that.
Warp travel is.
I did not know that.
Much like in the Nether, there are a lot of things that want to kill you. The Eldar found a way to do so in
Terraria is better than Minecraft. Haven't played either.
Not regular reality, not the warp, something else. A purgatory of sorts.
The web
a
way.
Fabricated psychic realm that allowed them to travel without fearing the negative effects of the warp. The Eldar were the perfect fit for the new galaxy, and they took it with open arms and pointy ears. The empire of the Eldar spread everywhere, and it spread all the way until now, the 21st century.
What?
That's right. While you were watching NPC streams on TikTok, the space elves were ruling the galaxy, and they did so for quite a long period of time.
The rise of humanity. Hold on a goddamn second. Are you telling me that canonically the Eldars are out fucking doing whatever space elves do out in the universe right now? Are you telling me that when human beings are trying to communicate with aliens, they're talking to space elves that don't give a shit about them at all? Warhammer's so fucking... How far are we? We're 12 minutes in, and I'm like, yo, Warhammer's kind of the sickest shit ever. Welcome back from Twitch ads, by the way. If you hate ads / would like to support your streamer, please considering subscribing to the Twitch.
The 21st century came and went. Humanity grew and grew, all under the nose of their elf overlords. At this time,
the elves were like in charge.
Classic sci-fi style way. We began to expand, colonize our solar system, terraformed our planets, created new and more powerful machines and starships. The Age of Terra, also known as Earth, but we call it Terra, was here and existed between the 21st century all the way until the 15th millennia. Not much is known about this time, not much needs to be known. Humanity grew up, sought the stars.
It's just humanity, dog.
Then came the years between 15,000 and 25,000, the age of technology, or to some, the dark age of technology.
Chad, have I been muted? I just noticed that my fucking mic was muted for a second. Have I been muted for a long time? I fucking hope not. I've been yapping.
technology. This is when humanity reached a new apex of technological understanding. When you think of sci-fi, there's a lot of things you can think of. Star Trek, maybe Star Wars style. You can go cyberpunk dystopian. The age of technology was deep sci-fi, like a scientific prowess that fringed on magic. This is also when the first ever psychers began showing up in humanity. Individuals with the
humans
genetic
got the
mutation to be able to
we got the
access
magic
warp,
too.
and then because of that, travel through it. Humanity was no longer constricted to their early ways of travel. With warp travel, they could go anywhere in the galaxy. They equipped ships with gigantic AI machines, with everything you would ever need to know about man.
Eldars are not going to take this shit well at all. The space elves are not going to take this shit well at all, dude. Thanks to the Redeem Ornix.
Mankind and sent them out on colony ships to expand their influence
Also, thank you, Mucklebot.
across the galaxy. This was truly the golden age of humanity, and with every golden age, there is a fall. While the new human upstarts of the galaxy were reaching.
By the way, you should go watch/read Berserk if you haven't already. Get your act together. Start loving and appreciating yourself.
New levels of technology and prowess, the Eldar were engaging in
debauchery.
What happens when a species has everything? You can produce
they fuck it up.
unlimited food out
They
of
fumble.
nothing. Your need for farmers and workers, gone. You have dominated the stars and have created a fast travel system that doesn't rely on the dangers of the warp. You have nothing else to do. You have no struggles, no problems, and feel as if
They're just gonna
nowhere
commit
else to
war.
go. Well, you begin to experiment. The Eldar started harmless enough. You know, you take a serious interest in your species' culture, your arts, paintings.
I'm deeply
poems,
concerned.
plays.
I'm deeply
These are
worried.
Eldar, elves, remember? Their emotions are heightened, more powerful than us humans. So your plays get louder. They start to push on the limits of your hearing ability. Your music becomes different, more deranged. It pushes the boundaries of what is art. The visual spectacle of art becomes
this
more
looks
bizarre,
fucking incredible.
more
Wait, what is this from?
delusional, more eccentric. And let's not forget a very important sense. Touch. Pornography is one thing. Brothels is another. What if they all mixed? What if your brothels were part of your art and music? And what if those became more deranged? The boundaries of debauchery were not just met, but shattered. Next thing you know, murder is commonplace and often mixed with the art, music, and sex. Pain is a common byproduct of entertainment. Whatever sensation you can have must be increased, must be enhanced, must be taken to the limits. The Eldar Empire slipped into a nightmarish realm of debauchery and excess, with the worst of it taking place in a...
I'm not one to kink shame, but this is a little much. I'm not one to kink shame, but my shit is shriveled and inside my body.
City in the webway, a black market for these kinds of heinous acts known as Kamara. Some Eldar saw the
Wait, I've
writing
actually
on the
heard that
wall,
word before.
saw what was happening to their species and how far they had slipped. So they boarded continent-sized starships called craft worlds.
Continent-size?
Seeking a more enlightened, calmer existence among their peers. Some, those...
Can you imagine fucking up your perfect society so bad that a bunch of you build continent-sized ships to get the fuck out of there? The streamer was too stunned to speak.
Kamara pushed it to even greater heights, relishing the pain
Oh
and torments they inflicted on those around them. All during this, the warp, the yin to the yang of the world,
do be
was
warping.
fed by these emotions, by the psychic power of the Eldar, by the souls taken in these depraved acts on a galactic scale. And just like that, Eldar ended.
God damn it,
Slanesh,
dude.
the fourth Chaos God,
Slanesh
was birthed into existence and consumed the souls of 90% of the Eldar population.
Oh my
those
God!
That fled were spared the worst of it, and those in the webway and Kamara were able to stave off the pull of Slanesh so
Fox,
long
I'm
as they
good. How are you?
continued to commit
Hey,
horrid
William.
acts of torture and violence. But for the majority of the Eldar,
Oh, thank you,
their
William.
empire died with Slanesh's birth. The new
How can you fuck up this bad? How do you fuck up this bad? You had everything. You had literally everything, and then you just fumbled so unbelievably hard into degeneracy. You made an entirely new Chaos God. Dude, the whole group chat is cackling. What the fuck? What happened, Eldars? What happened?
Fourth Chaos God, she who thirsts, the god of unspeakable excess of pleasure.
Oh, and then you
pain,
made the worst
hedonism,
one.
And perfection had been born. With the fall of the Eldar Empire came the ruin of humanity. Slaanesha's birth sent storms in the warp across the galaxy, making travel between star systems impossible. Coupled with a huge classic AI rebellion, as a staple in these sci-fi settings, humanity began to suffer the age of strife. Now, planets that relied on intergalactic travel were completely cut off. Long-range messages normally sent through the warp were snuffed out. If you were a planet that was great at mining stuff but couldn't get food, well, you know that movie about the rugby players in the mountains? Oh, and because of these insane warp storms and fluctuations, psychers began to appear among the human population a bit more often. Now, this
is that a bad thing?
Hunted down as witches.
Oh,
that's
no.
pretty common in this setting, but some deemed it right to protect them. Unfortunately for those people, psychers, because they open a gateway to the warp, don't really know how to use their powers well.
Oh my god, yep.
Kind of attract demons.
Oh my, what?
Their way through the psyker as a conduit of sorts and begin to slaughter the population.
This is the worst fucking universe to ever exist in. This is the worst fucking universe in the world. This is terrible. Literally nothing good ever happens to anybody. And then when the good shit happens to the Eldars, yeah, it's exactly what you just said, Merklevad. It's hey man, everything was so great, we got bored and we started going absolutely fucking crazy. Dude, this is the worst world to live in. Oh my god. This is the worst world to live in. Yes, dude, they're cosmic gooners.
Of your planet. The age of...
Dude, they gooned too close to the sun and created a new Satan.
Strife was a catastrophic period of time for humanity and set back their progress tenfold over the not one, not
horses?
two, but 5,000 year period. During this time, the age of humanity that we know
5,000 years.
Worlds equipped with large mechs for agriculture began to equip them with weapons to defend from alien and demonic invaders. Over 5,000 years, this became a custom and tradition, dubbing them as night worlds, a feudal society of honor-bound.
Oh, is this where the Space Marines got started?
That uphold the chivalric code to defend their worlds.
Yeah, the orcs are chilling, man.
A group of individuals on Mars, after radioactively bombing their
oh
planet
my
to
god,
become inhospitable to human life, ran their entire lives
honestly not a bad idea
on the few life support systems keeping them alive.
Oh, is this the
Those
mechanics?
Technicians who could work on the machines and keep them operational were revered, and over 5,000 years went from skilled members of society to full-blown priests. The cult Mechanicus, or
Mechanicus, there you go,
Mars, formed in the ashes of the Red Planet with a religion.
Yeah, this is one of the only... Again, I have incredibly surface level Warhammer knowledge. This is one of the only things that I'm like, yeah, I kind of know a little bit about these guys. I know it's a religious cult of technology and they reject the flesh and like relics, like ancient relics. I don't know, dude. I played the Mechanus RPG, like the XCOM game for a little bit. I don't remember any of that shit though.
Fervor and doctrine on the cult of the machine god. And on Earth, or Terra, techno-barbarian tribes waged war across the planet in a Mad Max style of blood and gore. Until finally, a mysterious man who lived in the shadows of Terra for millennia finally revealed himself.
How is he that old?
His
He's human.
Name was the Emperor. He
I know
deemed
that guy.
himself the Emperor of mankind. Where did he come from? I don't know. Why is he?
How is the Emperor? Watch me ask this question right before Bricky actually says something about it. How the fuck is he alive? How is he alive? Don't humans have regular lifespans in this universe?
10 feet tall and the most powerful psyker of all of mankind?
Jesus.
I don't know. Why is
he
no,
he's
immortal?
Literally Jesus.
I don't know.
He's literally Jesus. He even has the fucking crown of thorns. Hold on. He's
of all
well,
of mankind?
not that.
I don't know. Why is he
He's Jesus, dude. He's the Emperor is Jesus.
basically immortal? I don't know. Where'd Cotton Eye Joe go? Who knows? But he's here,
Excellent
and he
question.
isn't
Where the hell
happy with
is
all
Carmen
of you
Sandiego?
ripping up Terra. So he began the Unification Wars, where he and a very early version of the famous Space Marines,
There
the
you
Thunder
go.
Warriors,
The Thunder
reunited Terra under a
Warriors.
single banner. With blood. Then,
Yep,
after taking
as one
over
does.
Earth, he reunited the Thunder Warriors into the fucking dirt. This is where we get the Imperium of Man, also known as the Imperium. The new faction headed by the Emperor of Mankind with a treaty signed with the Cult Mechanicus on Mars to spread out and reunite
it's like an
humanity
actual
after the
union.
catastrophic Age of Strife. But first, the Emperor is going to need some smaller versions of
Okay. Can't wait for this shit to go absolutely horrifically bad.
himself. 20 of
They try to
them,
find the stuff that
18
humanity built
of them,
before
I
him.
meant
Before
gene-crafted
Slanesh?
sons of the strongest human to ever live. All of them possess unparalleled
Primarchs.
strategic power, intelligence,
Guys like
formidable
archangels.
strength and size. A real powerful force to unite humanity and stop the chaos of the current galaxy. Speaking of chaos, you ever seen that image of that guy throwing the baby like a basketball? It's about what happened.
It's
The
been so
Chaos
long since
Gods
I've seen that shit.
intervened and grabbed the 18 Primarch gestation pods and yeeted them across the galaxy at a whim, everywhere they could possibly go. A galactic game of keep away. So the Emperor had to get them back. So begins the Great Crusade. A crusade across the stars to reunite not just humanity, but
Not
the
the
Emperor
Spanish
with his
Inquisition.
fallen sons. The first to be found was Horus. One of the strongest and most noble sons. The Emperor
Big
carried
deal?
with him
Big
a
deal alert?
legion of newly crafted warriors with genetic material made from their prime.
They think that everything that should exist has already been invented and they just have to rediscover it. Anything else is heresy when it comes to mechanical stuff. Oh. Huh. That's fascinating. He's an immortal? Yeah, I'm telling you, dude, he's Jesus.
Mark Father. These are the newly made Space Marines. For Horus, his were the Luna Wolves. And as the Emperor continued
factions
on
of
his
them.
great crusade, he found more and more of his sons, reuniting them with their individual Space Marine legions. Leman Russ, the cunning hunter with the
Space Wolves.
Rogel Dorn, the phalanx with
Hold
the
on.
Imperial
Hold
Fist.
on. Rogel Dorn is the silliest. Rogel Dorn is the silliest name that we've come across so far. Rogel Dorn sounds like a made-up character. Obviously, he's literally made up. I feel like if somebody was making a Warhammer fanfic, or if it was like, hey, here's like this really fun NPC in this Warhammer, what is it? Rogue Trader. That's like the big CRPG. Yeah, man, I fucking love Rogel Dorn. Yeah, man, the local merchant, Rogel Dorn. Yeah, that guy rocks. Cool voice. Thank you, Uranai.
Angron, the barbarian, the very angry with his world eaters. Fulgrim,
shit, that's
the
raw.
perfect with his emperor's children. And Jagatai
He's got the best
Khan,
color on
the
him.
swift, the stoic, and his white scars. Those were just some of the 18, and one by one his lost Primarch sons were returned to him, and their Space Marine legions.
Wait, hold on. Isn't that the
returned to
fucking
them.
hold on? Isn't that the guy from Space Marine? Like the
Returned
video
to him.
game? I could be super wrong because he's just a white guy with a Space Marine build and a crew cut. Is this not the guy from Space Marine? Probably not. Probably not, but I just like the colors and everything and like the face. I don't know, man. I could absolutely be being silly right now.
And their Space Marine legions returned to them. The Great Crusade saw humanity once again reconquer the stars, returning worlds of humanity back to the Imperium and killing any and all who stood against their noble
As
crusade.
one
But in the
does
years of
during
the
a crusade.
31st millennia, treachery would break this all apart.
Horus Heresy. Oh my god, dude, there's no such thing as peace. There's no such thing as peace. The very first one they found, and he's out here committing heresy.
Horus, the Emperor's most beloved and favored sons,
Goddamn
named
Judas.
War Master for the Crusade, succumbed to the power of chaos and daddy issues. All because of that bastard Erebus. Yo, fuck Erebus.
He did actually,
Slowly, Horus.
He did actually skip the part where the Emperor of Man and actual children, which were like mini-gods. Oh, or he has children outside of the, how did I already forget what they're called? His 13 children? Like the super archangels?
Would become corrupted, turning the Emperor's sons against him.
Emperor's sons, there you go.
This begins the most pivotal moment in our story, and the one that has like 50 books written about it, the Horus Heresy. 9 of the 18 Primarchs turned against the Emperor.
Damn!
And the following years were a bloody battle for the throne of Terra. The Emperor originally was working on a special webway project, just like the Eldar, to make faster-than-light travel significantly easier and safer.
Did we learn nothing?
Improve humanity to allow them to conquer the stars without the risk of the warp. Well, this big red idiot named Magnus kind of blew a hole into that.
Oh my god!
So Big E over there is stuck on a gigantic golden throne, holding back the oncoming rush of demons and powering the Astronomicon. Basically a big North Star for people who are sailing in the warp to help them navigate.
Oh,
the
it's
Horus
like a lighthouse.
Heresy saw many loyalist and traitor legions pitted against each other in a bloody war until it reached Terra itself. Horus, unable to break through the lines and with time running out, made a gambit and opened his ship up to be boarded. The Emperor took this challenge, quickly allowing someone else to take control of the throne as he teleported his way
Such
onto
a bad
Horus's
idea.
flagship,
There's no
the
way this shit
Vengeful
works out.
Spirit. The Emperor, unable to truly kill his most beloved son, changed his mind right quick when Horus strangled the life out of his other son, Sanguinius.
No, not Sanguinius.
I'm sure you've seen this image at some point. The Emperor then said,
but I have now.
"I'm not gonna sugarcoat it," and proceeded to psychically blast Horus into complete oblivion, killing not only his body, but also his soul.
Oh my god! He
Horribly
fucking killed him
wounded from this
forever.
duel, the Emperor is returned to the Golden Throne in order to keep the demons at bay and power the Astronomicon, because without it, humanity would be flying blind.
Okay, so we got Makoto Yuki of the Warhammer world. I'm into it. I'm here for it.
There he sits, slowly
He's still
dying
there?
from his wounds and the strain of powering the Golden Throne. The only thing keeping him alive is feeding upon the souls of 1,000 psychers every single day. This
Oh my god.
was 10,000 years ago. We are now in the 41st millennium, modern day. Warhammer,
Oh, we're in 40K now.
40,000.
Let's go! We caught up. Really quick. This is, before we get to like modern day, this shit is miserable. He doesn't even get to fucking clock out. It's not even like, hey, I'm this door and now I am, you know, in a perpetual state of purgatory. My mind is not active, you know, I basically am dead / in a coma. Nah, he's up. He's up. He's killing. He's eating 1,000 souls a day. That man has no entertainment. He's got no friends. I know nobody in the Imperium is swinging by being like, hey, thanks for everything. Here's an Imperium Game Boy. Absolutely fucking miserable existence. Is there a single happy person in this entire fucking universe? Is anybody allowed to be jovial? Is there any whimsy here? This is grim dark. This is as grim dark as I've seen it get, really. Holy.
The Emperor remains on his throne. The Imperium is a rotting carcass of an empire, a fascist, xenophobic cult that worships the Emperor as a deity despite him never wanting to be seen as a god. Over the span of 1 million worlds, the ecclesiarchy,
Thanks for clocking in,
the
Leonard.
church of the Emperor, is spread throughout. Inquisitors with unparalleled power.
So everything becomes a war and everything becomes a religion. God damn it, dude. Have we learned nothing? Have we learned nothing from the follies of people before us? What the fuck? Hey, Edward, how's it going, buddy? We're learning about Warhammer right now. This shit is insane. This shit is crazy, man.
root out any sign of heresy or lack of devotion to their god emperor. The other half of the traitor legions move about as chaos space marines, raiding and pillaging the Imperium, while the loyalist half does their best to keep the Empire alive. All throughout this, they must endure orc invasions, Eldar trickery, the reawakening of the Necron race, and the
I know the Eldars are not fucking around after everything that just happened. If you don't take your planet ships and just go fuck off somewhere and have a good time, did we learn nothing? Nothing! There's one specific character who's particularly miserable, who but he's really funny in his misery. God damn, dude. Fucking terrible. How am I today? I'm good, Ennard. How are you doing, buddy? I'm having a good ass time with Warhammer. Invincible Season 4 started today, and I guess Digital Circus Episode 8 also comes out today. This is a good day for content, dude.
Great Devourer, the newest tyrannid threat from the darkness between galaxies that has arrived to feast on their worlds.
Oh my god. Holy shit. Oh my god.
Of Warhammer 40,000 is regression and intolerance. Every major faction in Warhammer has had an empire that spanned the galaxy only to be crushed back to a hollow shell of what they once were,
and then they never learn.
Failings. Culture, the arts, personal freedom, religious tolerance, the simple possibility that alien life might not want to kill us is considered heretical and is often met with a pistol to the head. There is no time for these things. All there is time for is worship of the God Emperor and a million wars to be fought. To be a human in the 41st millennia is 99% of the time to live a horrible existence. To be
hold on. So literally when I said that everything becomes war and religion, no, I lied. Everything just becomes a holy war. God damn, this is so miserable. Dude, if I got reincarnated and if I got isekai'd into the Warhammer world, I'm straight up just killing myself right away. I am straight up, I'm taking my own top off, dude. No fucking chance. No chance I'm living 30 seconds in this nightmare.
One of trillions of other humans across a million worlds throughout the galaxy. A galaxy where AI is outlawed, so humans are repurposed and lobotomized to become slaves.
Shit.
A place where lack of devotion is met with death. And if you even have devotion, there is a good chance the threats to the galaxy, chaos, and aliens will kill you anyway. Warhammer is a world where you revel in being bad. There are protagonists, there are antagonists, but every faction is some shade of evil. Because
we're all the
bad guys is always more fun. And my friend, you have a selection. So pick up that lasgun soldier. You and the other 3 million men and women in this single deployment on this single world in this single battle will now show them the might of the God Emperor. That weapon in your hands has killed 99% of the alien populations in this galaxy. Unfortunately for you, soldier, you're fighting the final 1%. May the Emperor be with us. Glory to the first man to die.
Glory to the Emperor.
Darkness of the far future, there is only war.
There is only Warhammer. This shit is insane, dude. What the fuck? This is just the timeline, mind you. We didn't learn shit about the races specifically. That's next. I've always heard people describe Warhammer as grimdark. This is as grimdark as I've ever fucking seen. This is as grimdark as I think I have ever seen in my entire life.
I hope I have helped teach you
Bricky.
About Warhammer. If you are a brand new person and you want to get a bit more about the world, there are multiple books that do a great job at showing off how the entire universe operates. For the most part, Warhammer is a setting, and often stories are told in that setting with a Warhammer coat of paint. Gaunt's Ghosts is Band of Brothers, but Warhammer. It's honestly one of my #1 recommendations for new people. Assassinorum
I'm writing that
Kingmaker
down
is an assassin
mentally.
novel involving those night worlds. This is Mission Impossible, but Warhammer. Bloodlines is Blade Runner, but Warhammer. And the list goes on.
This is how I've heard people describe the Warhammer video games. This, but Warhammer. Oh. So, okay. I'm understanding. Warhammer is a setting. Yes, I know Bricky just said that. I know. This shit is really, really interesting, man.
On. If I had to recommend a brand new novel for a first-time Warhammer enjoyer, these are the 4 I would recommend. Horus Rising, Caiaphas Cain, First and Only, Gaunt's Ghost, and Infinite and the Divine. They are all fantastic novels, and they will get you acquainted with the world without needing to know too much. Thank you all so much for watching this video.
No, thank you, Bricky. Go support Bricky, god dang it. Go support Bricky, god dang it, and go buy. Hold on. I gotta find it again. And go buy the goddamn sweet 6-pack. Go support the boy. An hour and 56 minutes. Wait, part 1. Wait, what? Part 2 is almost just as long. That's crazy. That's fucking crazy, dude. You know what's even crazier?
In the kind
Lock in.
brightness of the far past, there was no war. Our galaxy was, for a long time, fairly...
Damn, is this merch? Damn, is this Bricky wearing the merch? I see you. When I heard about Chuck Norris's death, the first thing that crossed my mind was, I think we're about to see a real adaptation of the events from the Doom games. I think that's actually I think that's Cowboy Bebop. Fuck. I haven't played any of the Doom games since Eternal. I hear Dark Ages is really good though.
Empty and quiet. The first known species to appear during this time are known only as the Old Ones, cosmic entities that traveled across the galaxy.
Bro, we know a little bit of this. This feels, ooh, I feel smart right now.
Shortly thereafter, a new species began to arise. The Necron-Tier. Evolving under the harshness of a devastatingly powerful star, the
I'm glad we watched this first video first.
Necron-Tier try to find the secret to eternal life and to be freed from their terrible existence. As they expand through
that never
the stars,
fucking
they
happens,
find the
mind you.
Old Ones, and they plead to them to share the secrets of the universe and grant them purchase from their short and painful existence. The Old Ones respond with a lol and a lamau, and with their immense power, they force them back to their homeworld. The Necron-Tier, filled with rage and hatred, make it their duty to get revenge on the Old Ones. A revenge that would
Could
come
you really blame
swiftly
them though? That
as a
shit
chance
sucked.
encounter with other gods gave them a solution. These other gods were known as the Catan, a race of highly powerful star-consuming entities. Do not fear, young mortals, for we, the Catan, will provide you with the immortality you seek. Come now.
Featuring
Won't
a
you
lol
shake a
lamau.
poor sinner's hand? Quoted from Mephetron, the Deceiver. The Necron-Tier accepted the Catan's offer of immortality, but believe it
Wait,
or
no way the alien busted out the "Won't you shake a poor sinner's hand." I'm sitting here waiting for Bricky to burst into song.
not, this turned out to be a ruse.
ready?
A trick. The Catan crafted gigantic furnaces and began the process of biotransference. The Necron-Tier willingly walked line by line into the furnace engines made by gods who devour stars and had their souls consumed instead. The short-lived, irradiated, and cancer-inflicted race of the Necron-Tier ceased to be.
Oh wait, yeah,
and the
they did get
immortal,
super
soulless
cancer
Necrons
and die before the age of
remained.
30.
Now backed by the immense power of the Catan, the Necrons rally against the Old Ones, and the bitter conflict in the stars at this time is known as the War in Heaven. Despite creating various races and
dude,
entities that
Warhammer
aid
has
them
the
in this
rawest
battle, the
fucking
Old Ones
names
are
for everything.
overwhelmed
Holy
and
shit.
eradicated down to the last, due to the sheer power of the Catan fat off the souls of the Necron-Tier, and with an army of unthinkable robotic slaves at their behest. However, the Catan
are greedy, spiteful gods, and when there was no foe
As
worth
most are.
killing, they turn on each other. The Necrons then put their sights towards the Catan and lay waste to them, securing their freedom. The once subservient Necrons now control their former masters. Worn out and weakened by these wars, the Necrons, under their leader Zarek the Silent King, lie dormant,
the
with a
Silent
plan to
King.
eventually wake and reclaim control over the galaxy.
Bro, this is what I'm talking about, dude. They have the coolest fucking names for everything. The Silent King. I wonder if he's actually silent. I'm gonna go on the limb and say yes.
Over millions
Is that because
of
he's a
years,
robot? I don't know,
empires
maybe.
rise and they fall. The species created by the Old Ones have footholds over the galaxy, but on a pale blue dot in the thick of all this conflict, humanity begins to evolve. And for the most part, the basic path of humanity's evolution remains the same as it is now for almost 15,000 years. Right now, in the 21st century, this is canon. You, right now, Twitch streamer reacting to this video.
Whoa,
you
whoa!
existed
He caught me!
at a point in the Warhammer universe. But with time, humanity's ambition.
Hey, I'm just gonna go ahead and say this since it's canon. I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say I am mad xenophobic against the fucking Eldars. Those guys suck.
And the power of their technology becomes unmatched, and the golden age of expansion begins. Humanity starts to branch out through the stars with
You should try
powerful
looking up
tools
Warhammer
used for
40k Cypress
agriculture,
Cain.
mining,
I've actually
and
heard that name
expansion.
before.
Some branches of humanity would eventually settle far away from Earth itself, and around this time, the psychic ability of humans are greatly expanded, and what we begin to know as psychers appear. But
I want to know, why do psychers, how can humans be psychers at all? Like, is it just yeah, this happened, or is there like a lore reasoning why humans were able to develop psyker powers? How were we able to tap into the warp for real?
despite all the progress, things would begin to collapse. The machines created to aid humanity would turn on them in M23, an event known as the Cybernetic Revolt.
Infinite, holy shit, infinite bullets.
Due to the immaterial warp, aka actual hell, beginning to cause ruptures in space and time.
we in New
These
York?
warp
Oh, we're in
stones would
Cleveland.
separate humanity, and this would be what is known as the Age of Strife. The warp, a sea of souls, storing all thought, emotion, and the souls of those who have passed on.
Dude, honestly, the Age of Strife is what fucking broke me. When we were watching the last video, learning about the timeline, the Age of Strife is what broke me. What do you mean 5,000 years of pure unbearable suffering? You just randomly get born with it? Oh, it's like a mutant gene. Except you get to tap into the powers of hell. It's so hard to hear anything over the rumbling engine in my office. Why do you have a rumbling engine in your office?
Begin fluctuating to
Also, welcome in, Blood. How you doing, buddy?
As far on the horizon, something horrendous was brewing. You see, the warp isn't just a random assortment of chaotic energy. It is fairly well organized.
Your
Thanks to
dog's
those
mad as fuck.
living
He
in
wants
the
to chew on
galaxy.
your
The
arm.
warp
He's so
itself
pressed.
acts as an afterlife of sorts, and the actions of the innumerable amount of creatures who live in the galaxy have manifested a pantheon of organized entities known as the forces of chaos.
Yeah, it's literally our fault. It's literally our fault that there's like 14 Satans.
At their helm are three major entities: Korn, Norgal, and Zeech. However, a fourth one, Slaanesh, was about to be born.
Slaanesh.
The ancient Eldar were one
This is
of
what
the
I'm
first
talking about,
species
dude.
created
These
by
fucking
the Old
space
Ones, and
elves.
due to their extreme and unbridled excess, the birthing of Slaanesh tore a hole in the galaxy and forever split the Eldar into those of the craft world, who sought to bring their species back
Dang,
together,
he's got like a
and
cool-ass
those of the
space gun.
Drukhari, who wish to continue what caused the
We haven't really talked about the weapons, but mostly because we haven't really seen too many chainsaw swords. This is raw as hell. We've got like the spiked club electric sword, and then we've got this sick wait, is that a wheel? Is that a wheel that you can spin to potentially reload the gun? Yo, what the hell? This looks so sick. And then also there's this guy with the skull codpiece. I can get behind that. That's some fashion I can fuck with.
birth of Slaanesh in the
It's
first
the
place.
dumbest
The
space
birthing
gun.
of
That's
this
why I
fourth
love it.
Chaos god settled the warp storms of the immaterial.
Looks like a
and
beehive
ended the
smoker.
age of
The
strife,
beehive
but
smoker for
humanity
people.
was still fractured. So one man revealed himself and spearheaded an immense attempt to reunite all the fractured
Dropping my
pieces of
shit.
humanity. That man was the Emperor of Mankind. After
Glory
reclaiming
to the
nearly
Emperor.
destroyed Earth, the Emperor embarked on the unification wars to unite
I
humanity.
want to know more about human Jesus. I want to know more about Warhammer 40k Commander Emperor Jesus. I need to know why he's immortal. I need to know.
Under the banner of the Imperium of
Why does he
Man.
have super
However,
semen
due
that
to the
makes
very
super
long
babies?
and devastating impact of the Age of Strife, humanity as we know it is not the same. To reconquer Earth, the Emperor would need more than mere men. Great beings, known as the Thunder Warriors, were recruited
Because
by the Emperor
fuck you,
to
that's
reclaim
why.
the Earth with ease. But these warriors are a blunt tool and had overstayed their welcome. He would need
Shit.
something better. And that solution
Little bit of
would
murder.
be known as the Space Marines. Superhuman soldiers that will have the
God
skill
damn.
and cunning exponentially greater than the mortal man.
Oh
These
my
new warriors
God.
would be commanded
Holy shit, dude. Oh, that was the coolest thing in the world. Oh my God. Hold on, I want to see that shit again. That was so sick. What the fuck? I'm genuinely so locked in, chat. I'm letting the lore be absorbed through my fucking skin, through my ears, through my nose, through my spirit.
their welcome. He would need something
Except for
better,
that one
and
legion that only fucks
solution
around.
would be
The
known
Space Marines
as the
do not
Space
fuck around.
Marines. Superhuman
I gotta see this
soldiers
shit
that
again,
will
dude.
have the skill and cunning exponentially greater than the mortal man.
Damn!
These new warriors would be commanded
Said
by
fuck
an
you
elite
in
group
particular.
of his very own sons known as the Primarchs. Unfortunately, though, Daddy didn't charge the baby monitor, and his 18 sons would be stolen by the forces of chaos and scattered across the galaxy. This would begin the Great Crusade, a monumental
Great Crusade
task
to
take
reassemble
back
the
stars
Hogyoku.
in the name of humanity and reclaim the lost Primarch sons.
I'm thinking about
However,
Naraku's jewel.
he would need the fires of industry to make this happen. Looking to the distant cousins of Mars, the Emperor signed a treaty with the technologically irradiated hellscape of the Red Planet and allowed the cult of the machine god, the Mechanicum, to supply his crusade. While Space Marines were the tip of
Yeah,
the
dude, see if
spear,
you can find
their
that. Send it
numbers
to me.
pale to the vast might of the Imperial Army and Navy, the Astra Militarum, and their seemingly
Astra
endless numbers make up
Militarum?
the bulk of the fighting force for humanity, supplied by the intelligence and prowess of various agents of the Imperium, such as rogue traders and assassins.
Oh,
Due
wait.
to the lack of
Rogue Trader, that's the game. That's the game. That's the Baldur's Gate 3 Warhammer game, right? Rogue Trader? Wait, what the fuck? Hold on. Oh, Bricky, we gotta go back. Sorry. I know we're 7 minutes into a 2-hour video.
to make this happen. Looking to the distant cousins of Mars, the Emperor signed
Yeah,
a
we
treaty
made a treaty with the
technologically
Mechanicus.
irradiated hellscape of the Red Planet and allowed the cult of the machine god, the Mechanicum, to supply his crusade. While Space Marines were the tip of the spear, their numbers pale to the vast might of the Imperial Army and Navy, the Astra Militarum, and their seemingly endless numbers make up the bulk of the fighting force for humanity, supplied by the intelligence and prowess of various agents of the Imperium, such as rogue traders and assassins. Due to the lack of connectivity between the worlds, what a society had become over thousands of years became mysterious and varied. Tools once used for harvesting and agriculture
Are
were
now
being
giant
used as
mecha.
machines of war in the form of imperial knights. Some of these fractures of humanity would even be changed further and become unrecognizable to the average human, with differences in size, skin color, appendages, cat ears, sometimes.
Hold on, wait a minute. We've got genetically engineered cat girls in this universe? Maybe Warhammer's not that bad, dude. Maybe the Grimdark is worth tolerating.
Some would go so far to become their own galactic societies, like the miners of the Galactic Core and their immense supercomputers, forming the Leagues of Votan. After an incredible
so many
amount of
factions.
effort and books, the lost sons of the Emperor would be reunited, and the Imperium of Man would be firmly established. This, however, would not last. Be it intentional,
Nothing
or
ever does,
accidental,
man.
The Emperor would not reveal to his sons the true nature of the galaxy and the terrors of the warp. And this oversight would result in one of the most impactful wars in humanity.
Is it the heresy?
The favorite son of the Emperor, Horus, would
Maybe if you had had a conversation with your son Horus, he wouldn't have done the heresy. Maybe if you had had a full conversation and let him know, hey man, this warp thing is not to be fucked with. I know I birthed you and had you fight an entire holy war and all this other shit, but I'm not going to tell you about super space hell and how impactful that is to literally every single person across the entire universe.
fall to the powers of chaos and turn on his father. This betrayal, this backstabbing, this heresy.
That's not why the heresy happened.
Heresy
I clapped when I heard it.
result in a split in the Imperium with
I'm just saying it didn't help.
consequences. Half of the Emperor's loyal sons would fall to chaos and become the Chaos Space Marines, along with the forces of the Dark Mechanicum and the Chaos Knights. The
Oh,
conflict
everybody's
would
got an
result in
alter
the
version.
absolute
Everybody's got a
obliteration
dark-
of Horus and the
a dark
physical death
variation.
of the Emperor himself. The near-dead body of the Emperor would be placed on the Golden Throne to serve as a beacon of humanity and allow for the continued ability to travel the stars, protected by his most loyal,
Wait.
the Adeptus.
Wait, was that not his choice? Was that not the Emperor's choice to do that? Was he put there? Horus had visions that his father would become an all-consuming force on humankind that never moves. Oh, the Horus heresy caused him to become like that. Oh, got it. Dude, I'm glad I got Warhammer heads in chat. You guys are teaching me shit.
Custodes. The Imperium would be vulnerable during this age of rebirth, and Terra would find itself under siege by one of the most formidable species in the galaxy, the Orcs. As time
became
went
a self-fulfilling
on and memories
prophecy.
of the Emperor's vision began to fade, the Emperor would become less of a head of state and more of a religious figure, and the Imperium would change to reflect this.
Everything
The
becomes a
leadership on
religion in
planet
this
would
universe,
be at
man.
the behest of the High Lords of Terra, and their actions would be courtesy of the incomparable power and authority of the Inquisition. The zealots of the
Inquisition.
Imperium would
Welcome in,
intensify
Texter.
and
How's it
create
going,
a
buddy?
brand new era
How's it
known
going?
as the Age of Apostasy. And this ecclesiarchal command of the Imperium would end up with
I'm
one of the
good. We're getting
strongest
lore
fighting
blasted
forces of
right
Terra,
now.
the
Shit's going
Adeptus
crazy.
Sororitas. Over time, this age would
How are
come
you?
to pass, and we would approach the 40th millennium of Warhammer 40,000.
Modern day. The 41st century.
Which, you guessed it, would come with its own form of problems. A primitive species
Infinite
once
amounts.
found during a recon mission would be able to
Oh,
evolve
chainsaw sword.
in relative secrecy for
Chainsaw
6,000
swords.
years, becoming a highly advanced coalition of aliens known as the Tau Empire. And if the threats of the galaxy weren't bad enough, there are threats from outside the galaxy. As a
Wait,
monster
what?
has begun to wrap its
You talking about the
tendrils
demons
around
from the warp?
Milky Way, the Tyranids, monsters that serve a psychic hive mind and present tactics previously unseen in the Milky Way. Be it a
Oh my
direct
God,
assault with
dude.
their monstrous bug-like presence, or through the more covert gene
Oh, wait a minute. I've seen this guy before. Or I'm pretty sure that we've seen a guy like this before. Did you play the third DLC for Digimon? Yeah, we did a stream for it the day it came out. Found a Surgeon playlist about how to create Space Marines. Yo, what? That's cool as fuck. Are we getting a new Digimon game? Maybe. Guess we'll find out in 2 days when Digimon Con happens.
Stealer cults. The presence of yet another threat
That's
in the
Dave from
galaxy
accounting.
is proving to be overwhelming to the Imperium. In the 41st millennium, there is no peace.
He didn't really
among
deserve the horn, to be
stars.
honest.
At any point, your life can and will be threatened by the Xenos races uncountable, or by the arch enemy of chaos within, or by the decroded terror that is the Imperium itself. It is to live in the cruelest and most bloody
There is no
regime
such thing as fucking
imaginable.
peace
Forget
or
the power of
relaxation or
technology and
whimsy.
science, or the safety of promise and understanding. For in the grim darkness of the far future,
Am I gonna stream
there is
Digimon Con? I
only
don't know. I hadn't really thought about it. Maybe. Every 40k faction explained. Again. It only took us 12 minutes, which probably like 20 with all the pausing and shit.
A fantastic job once again, Mr. Kurz, the Night Haunter himself. Oh, didn't you love that, my faithful
Dark
audience?
God
Once
Whimsy is the
again,
only
we had
bit.
Another criminal over the course of 6 hours break every single bone in his body. And
Fantastic.
With that, once again, our glorious leader has brought the crime rate to 0%. Always
Let's
brought to you
go!
here on the Strawman News. I'm your
Let's
host,
go!
Bricky. Thank you once again for joining us.
Glory to
Our
the
top
Emperor.
stories
Only
for
he could
tonight.
create the
weather
0% crime
forecast
rate.
appears to be rainy with extra dark, so make sure you pack those extra batteries for your lamp packs.
It's mostly
Of
orc
course,
related.
Let's not forget the fantastic gang violence problem we're currently having. Oh, I'm sorry. What's that? Oh, right. It's gone.
That is the straight up biggest lie. The entire universe is gang violence. It's all holy wars. It's all holy wars and
It's going to be
heresy.
a chilly one tonight as well, so make sure your skin capes are nice and tight. Wait, hold on, one moment. No,
This just in.
adamantium reserves have tripled?
What? How is that possible?
Wait, I'm sorry. Self-harm rates have gone down to 0%.
Whoa.
The Night Haunter smiled? No.
That's not possible.
This could only mean one
The
thing.
Night Hunter?
It is the Strawman News' great privilege to bring some color back in your life
Oh,
with the brand new
is this the
three-part
ad segment?
Gamer Supps drop
Let's
exclusively
go!
on this here news network.
Shilling!
That's right, your esteemed host
No, it's
Bricky
not shilling, 'cause
myself
it's self-promotion.
is dropping a 3-part Gamer Supps
Whoa, this is a
release
whole
for
different
pre-order
thing.
Available
This
now
isn't
and
the
only
salty
for
six-pack.
a couple of weeks. Not only does it include a completely brand new artwork reskin
Oh, no, it is.
of
It's a
the sweet
reboot.
6-pack flavor,
Ooh.
one of the highest selling flavors in the entirety of Gamer Subs, but it
Oh, is
also
it
comes
really?
with the first ever all over print Gamer
Whoa!
Subs 32-ounce
I want one of
jug.
these.
And if that isn't enough for you, if the phenomenal drink and drink holder is
that a
not
desk
enough
mat?
for you, we have a desk mat to go along with it. That's right, the Herculean look of the brand new Sweet
Wow, this
Six-Pack
art is
style
fantastic.
is
This is
here.
beautiful
We're
art.
still looking at muscles beyond belief, but this time we're
Shilling is
talking
just such a good
taste.
word to
We're
use,
talking
man. It's just such a
fatness.
fun word
We're
to say.
talking smooth.
One day I will
If
get
that
self-promotion
wasn't
right.
enough, I, your co-host,
Speaking of self-promotion, if you hate ads or would like to support your streamer, please consider subscribing to the Twitch.
specifically, should you
See?
pre-order
I know how to
all
self-promo.
3 of these items, will personally hand sign a note for you thanking you
Also, go to the YouTube, watch everything, leave a like on everything, hype the thing in the mobile if you have it.
for supporting this network. All of this you can receive
See?
for
Self-promo.
10% off if you go down in the description of this video and click the link, or go to gamersubs.com/bricky.
Yeah, get your 10% off.
Save 10% off with
Yeah,
code Bricky.
go
Bring some
use
color
code.
back into your
Use code Bricky for 10% off. Go support the boy.
life and increase production across the board for our glorious leader, the Night Haunter. Thank you, Gamer Subs, for sponsoring the Strawman News, and let us move on to our next scheduled program.
Now
5
this is
years
what I
ago,
call
I
journalism.
made every Warhammer 40k faction explained. A passion project.
Dude, he's
of
like a
mine for
baby over
universe
there.
that I enjoyed
Look how
so
young he
much.
is.
Its main purpose was to be a drawbridge, the separation between the layman who had only ever seen the big armor.
My boy lost some weight. He looks good.
Next to a Wetzel's Pretzels, and then the hardcore Warhammer lore nerd. That was just too wide, and there was nothing bridging these two together. Since 2020, Warhammer has exploded in popularity thanks to COVID, quality game updates, and a few excellent video games, and a couple mini.
Oh, there's the Night Haunt.
Sheer volume of people who have told me they have purchased miniatures due to that video alone makes me feel as if Games Workshop owes me commission. However,
or
That
some sort
video
of shout
is
out.
incomplete. I was not a casual fan, but I was also not a hardcore lore junkie. In the 5 years since that video's release, multiple
5
channels have brought it up,
years?
and the drawbridge between casual to the obsessed has never been wider or easier to traverse. Even I, myself, have been a part of Adeptus Ridiculous, a podcast teaching lore in much
Adeptus
simpler and
Ridiculous?
condensed form. Needless to
Wait,
say,
that sounds so
I've
cool.
learned a
What the
lot.
fuck?
Warhammer is so much more than just Spaceman shoots big gun. It has also grown substantially from its origins, being a Warhammer fantasy spin-off just in space.
Wait, what? What the hell's a Warhammer fantasy? What's this new lore?
Now it is a black library filled
I told you there was one squadron that only fucks around.
and even some tear-jerking stories. It is a backdrop for a million stories over a million worlds, and I
Is this
did
Rogue
not
Trader?
see its true depth in 2020. But now I'd like to share what I've learned. We just had a brief summary of the world and each faction that takes place during it. And we did that because to truly understand each faction, we must understand what makes them the way they are. And to do so, we need to begin in chronological order, discussing their origins.
Are we doing
their
the
culture,
timeline
their
again?
powers, and of course, what makes them
Did we low-key just need to watch this video?
So let's begin with the group that started it all and sing praise to the infinite empire.
The Skaven are from Warhammer and do not exist in Warhammer 40k? The Skaven? Aren't those like the little rat guys?
The Necron tier were the original form of
Little
the
rat
Necrons,
folk?
an alien race far away from us that lived short, painful lives due to the irradiation of their star. Normally, this would
Oh, it's from their
manifest as a sort
star.
of
That's what
cancer,
gives them the
space
super cancer.
of sorts. The Necrons are very much inspired by the ancient Egyptian aesthetic, but unlike the windswept dunes commonly associated with it, the irradiated hellscape the Necron tier endured was far from picturesque. This also translates into their hierarchy. They are a race of nobles and peasants. Most of the peasants would
brother,
often
they
live
got the
for a
nobility.
very short amount of time, only a couple of decades, while the nobles tended to have better care and would live a little bit longer, but still far less than the average lifespan of a human, even today in the 21st century. The leader of the Necrons was Zarek, the Silent King. He was the one who took the deal with the Catan and the Deceiver. Of course, he wasn't aware of the fact that they were known as the Deceiver at the time, but the whole species was blinded by hate after being debased by the Old Ones on their quest to cure their illness.
Also, in their defense, they are literally riddled with space cancer. I would hop on literally any single minute scrap of hope. I'm probably gonna be dead in like 5 years anyways, and I got like $1 bajillion sitting in my back pocket. I'm fucked. Deceiver or not, I'm probably going for it.
The sheer pain that underwent the Necron race can't be understated, as their fear was manic. The Catan are, of course, gods that eat stars, and when the leader of your species tells you to march into the gigantic green furnaces to ascend to immortality, you march. The scenes from these are long lines of both the peasantry and nobles clutching their loved ones in a frantic act to save their own lives. Many of them already inflicted in the late stages of the space cancer, some of them crawling into the biotransference furnaces, trying to outrace death itself. Without realizing death was the one who made these to begin with. What came out the other side was a soulless husk. And I say that literally. A soul is not an abstract concept like it is in our world.
Where'd it go?
An immaterial version of oneself discussed and debated in religion and philosophy. No, in Warhammer, a soul is a real, tangible item of oneself. And the Catan,
that's such a cool piece of world building. I like that a lot.
To every single person who went in their furnaces. If you were
literally,
you came out a
dude, they ate the fucking soul. Oh my god, dude, it's like they ripped in your chest and ate your fucking heart. Oh my god.
Necron warrior, and you as an individual have ceased to be. You have no mind, you have no soul, and your body, as you know it, is made of an extremely advanced mass of
it's like Soul Eater, yeah.
known as necrodermis.
I'm sad I missed the beginning of this. It's all good. The VODs are always available.
To think with. All all you do now
Plus, it might get
is
cut into a
await
normal video. Who
protocols
knows?
from your overlords, which are the nobles who came out of the furnaces with their minds intact. Not their souls, mind you.
Oh.
But their minds are very much intact. These
Isn't that
nobles now
worse?
have command protocols, and they are able to command all of their peasantry and do with them.
Isn't that so much worse? Like, sure, you don't have your soul, but you can still think and perceive and understand what's going on, even though you have no real control or agency in your body. It is arguably worse. Dude, I would go out on a limb and say, just fucking kill me. Just eat my soul, dude. I'm over. It's a worse form of slavery. Yeah, because it's not even like, hey, you killed me and now you're puppeting my body. It's, hey man, we stole every piece of agency from you and now you have to exist as a fucking puppet, knowing that you're on strings and that it didn't used to be that way. Now you get to feel all of that hate and suffering and pain and have no way to deal with it. Yeah, you're cognizant of literally everything with no free will to oppose it. That's worse. That's so much worse. Dude, just kill me. Just fucking kill
Whatever
me,
they
man.
wish. Zarek, the Silent King, is the most advanced of all the Necrons, a perfect metallic version of himself with incredible power and intelligence. His strength allowed him to lead the undead and the unthinking armies of the Necrons to battle against the Catan when they were at their weakest due to their incessant infighting and then win back their freedom.
You still have agency, but your emotions are
gods
suppressed.
Cannot die. So in reality, what occurred is the Catan were shattered into thousands of pieces, and each shard of their god was trapped in a stasis vault and mind controlled to do the bidding of the Necrons they once enslaved. The biggest
Honestly,
challenge
get
they face now
fucked.
are actually the upstarts of the galaxy. The Eldar and the Orcs were quite prominent, and as you can imagine, a galactic war really takes its toll on the joints, or I guess the servos. It was in their
Little
best
bit of both.
interest to wait out the galactic rise of the other races and come back at a more opportune time. So they went into stasis via these massive tomb complexes hidden beneath various worlds, biding their time until it was once again their opportunity.
They turned into
to
mole
rule
people.
the galaxy. Zarek, the Silent King, as penance for his failure to his people, exiled himself into the darkness between
Oh, he
stars for the
chose
next
to do
60
it?
million years with his perfect memory, a constant reminder of the doom he inflicted upon his people. Flash forward
Just
to the
kill
modern
me.
day, and the Necrons are reawakened.
I don't, dude, honestly, it's a miracle that anybody chooses to live. It's a miracle that anybody in this universe chooses to continue existing. Obviously, there's like tons of immortals and stuff like that. It is a goddamn miracle that sewer slide rates are not at 97% across every species.
But it isn't working as well as it could be. Whether the tomb world is reawakened naturally or by some imperial moron stepping on a green glowing rock, the Necrons have come back to reclaim a galaxy they consider rightly theirs. But
I mean,
60 million years of hypersleep have taken their toll. Many
Arguable.
Necron dynasties awake with systems unrestored, and
Necrons definitely deserve reparations because what the fuck? I mean, I guess enslaving your previous slavers kind of counts, but I feel like you guys could probably dap them up, give them a corner of the universe, you know, something. They do kind of deserve it.
huge swaths of their population's minds completely lost.
Aw,
Necron
man.
nobles wake with various mental faculties compromised, sometimes exhibiting traits similar to excessive paranoia, schizophrenia, or even dementia. One notable Necron, Nemesis Zandrek, believes that he is still back on his home planet fighting off separatists.
Oh
and
my
Interlopers.
goodness.
See, Oberyn, the separatists come, attempting to outflank me as they did at the 4th Battle of Vindach. How they calculate that daubing themselves green and roaring like savages will produce a different outcome, I cannot fathom. But it is of no account. Ready, my legions. Another glorious victory shall soon be ours.
Quite
Other
literally
individuals,
living
such as
in the past.
esteemed Imatek the Stormlord, seek to usurp the newly returned Silent King for rightful ruler over the Necron race.
He's
believing his time
been in
has come to an end,
self-isolation
while
for so long.
scientists and archaeologists
Bring him
like
back.
Trazen the Infinite and Orikin the Diviner spend thousands of years bickering over artifacts and petty squabbles. Truly, the Necrons are a faction of unthinkable, unimaginable power, held back entirely by their own hubris and 60 million years of stasis. It is a species that does not know of time, only of the ravages brought by it.
Damn! Oh my
Pharaoh of a
God!
dynasty may just be as frightened to awake completely.
Listen, I know we're talking about the most miserable fucking species on the planet. I mean, in the universe. That man just got atomized through his eyeball.
Completely mad as they are to be assassinated while they sleep. Thousands of years pass in an instant. There is a play, like an opera, a retelling of the.
Did you guys see Harry Potter Papa Pals? Do you guys remember that shit? That was another. Yeah, I'm gonna watch this 37 times a day type shit.
War in heaven in the Necron culture that takes 40 years to witness because. Why leave? You have no need to eat or vacate your bowels. You are immortal.
It's a pipe bomb.
But you are soulless. Despite
Yay.
the Necrons' incredible technology, their mastery over time, reality itself, despite all of this, they still are missing a soul. And therein lies the biggest struggle. Most Necrons look to conquest the galaxy, kill the interlopers like the humans, Eldar, and Orcs that scrape at a fraction of their power. But the end goal for many, including Zarek himself, is to return the souls to their bodies.
So what I'm hearing is that devoid of a soul and with a crippled mind, they chose racism and violence. That sounds kind of familiar.
To undo the horrible fate he cast upon them. This is not the interest of all. Many
To be fair, it's not
wish to
racism,
rule
xenophobia.
their dynasty with an iron fist.
Speciesism.
All they consider unworthy. But to many others, it is to undo
The Necron Gauss
decision
weaponry for you?
that doomed them
It's the
all.
weakest tier of their
Before they can
weapons?
do
Holy
that,
shit.
there is a pest that needs exterminating. That is the fundamental understanding of the Necrons. They are so hyper advanced that their science borders on magic. They play with the fundamental aspects of reality.
I think, wow, we've been pausing this shit like crazy. I think that science that's so complex that it is indistinguishable from magic is one of the coolest things that can exist in a fantasy setting. I think that is genuinely the coolest shit in the world, man. Honestly, in however long the stream has been going, dude, I can feel the Warhammer mark in me like forming. I can feel the Warhammer appreciation forming in my stomach. It's kind of insane because I'm really sitting here, dude, I'm locked in. I have time for another hyperfixation. Don't invest in a Warhammer. That's where instead of all my money going to Common Writer merch and fucking art commissions, it'd be going into Warhammer. I don't have the strength to paint miniatures, dude. I don't have the attention to detail. I might pick up unironically, I might pick up a Warhammer game or two. I'm like really like legitimately I'm gonna finish this. We are going to finish this. I don't know if we will do the second video today. I don't know about all of that, but holy shit, dude. This Warhammer is really, I can feel it. I can feel why people like this shit so much. I can feel it in my bones.
And time. Their mastery of the physical galaxy is the strongest in the universe. Their weapons reduce people to the barest molecules. And
Yeah,
they have devices
bottom tier
capable of
weapon
causing
apparently.
Stars to supernova. They are
I do not have the money for that.
to kill, as if you do fell one
You're
of
not
their
wrong.
number,
I don't
the
have the money for
living
that.
metal reknits itself, and the reanimation protocols allow it to come back alive once again. They're masters of teleportation, and often killing a Necron fully will just have its consciousness.
He's got a hold on, dude. He's got a Gauss weapon axe.
The strongest in the universe. Their weapons reduce people to the barest molecules, and they have devices capable of causing stars.
I really
to
like the
supernova.
Necrons.
They
They're
are
cool as fuck.
unfathomably.
They've got Gauss they've got disintegrating beam guns that are also axes. Why are Warhammer weapons so awesome?
Difficult to kill, as if you do fell one of their number, the living metal reknits itself and the reanimation protocols allow it to come back alive.
What the fuck?
They're masters of teleportation and often killing
Necrons are cool as hell,
fully,
man.
will just
Necrons
have
are
its
so cool.
consciousness translocated back to their tomb world to await reassembly. Normally they utilize large failing
They're
cities of
so
warriors
immortal.
and honorary combats, but
They're
some of them
super
have fallen
immortal.
to various mind viruses. The destroyer cults are hell-bent on killing anything and everyone that lives with an overwhelming force. And then there's the flayed ones. Necrons cursed
wearing
with
skin?
I have no mouth and I must scream, a panic attack virus, as the last laugh of Landogo, the Flayer
What?
Khan. Slowly losing their minds, they strip apart their foes and adorn their bodies with the skin of their enemies, trying to better return to their old feelings of flesh and blood. The Necrons are a degraded version of their mighty empire. And
Yo, Necrons are cool as fuck. Necrons are so cool. What the hell? Dude, what the fuck? The panic attack virus is insane. The panic attack virus might be the worst thing. The panic attack virus might be the worst one. Yeah, just exist as an immortal, mind you. Just exist in a constant state of paranoia and panic and fucking mental, what's the word I'm looking for? And mental panic. I'm so shook. Dude, what the fuck? This is why we keep pausing. I'm genuinely blown away every 2 seconds. What the fuck? And if you kill them, they can just revive? Yeah. Yeah, they either re-knit themselves together or they just port their consciousness back and then get rebuilt. Their melee weapons are called hyperphase weapons, shifting through dimensions to bypass armor. What the fuck? That's so amazing. How do you fight that?
one of the biggest threats in the galaxy. The only thing keeping them at bay currently is their awakening sickness and their infighting with
Yeah, dude, they got summoning
care to the
sickness.
timeline. But they are coming. And slowly, they plan to rid this galaxy of the vermin that inhabit it. My people shackled the stars and broke mortality when the species you sprang from had barely left the slime pools it spawned in. Our wars burned reality, and the dominion of our kings is without limit. The ground you tread on is not yours, it is ours. The
Raw
War of
as
Heaven was a
fuck.
catastrophic time for the galaxy, and as stated in the above quote, burned reality. Of course, souls exist in Warhammer, and in the case of the Necrons here, they were consumed by the star gods. This begs the question, however, if you were to pass on, expire, as one might put it, where would your soul go? The answer to
warp.
this is the warp. In Warhammer, a soul
We love the warp.
is real. And so is hell. The afterlife, the Empyrean, the Sea of Souls, the Immaterium. All of these names refer to the dimension parallel to our own known as the warp.
I think the warp is genuinely such a fascinating place and such a, honestly, I think that the warp is one of the coolest depictions of an afterlife that I've seen. This shit is so rad, and like I don't really need to like go into the whole thing because Bricky's going to talk about it for like 20 minutes or whatever. But dude, purely based on the fact, like even if it was just the combination, essentially the combination of heaven, like hell, heaven, and purgatory all at the same time is super interesting. But bro, matter of fact, let me shut the fuck up. Bricky, bless him. Tell him why the warp is so cool.
Now, the warp is not like our reality. It does not follow the classic normalcy of time and space. It is defined as the Sea of Souls, and it acts like this in a more literal way than you can realize. To imagine the warp is to imagine the sea itself. Hell is real, and you can surf on it. It has a current and can become more dangerous depending on where you go and how bad the weather is. As the Immaterium is a
what? I didn't know
reflection
that
of our
part.
reality and of our souls, all thoughts, all emotions, all feeling that goes with a soul is passed on into the warp. If an entire planet decides it's going to engage in a blood-fueled rampage of murder and gore, then the warp around that planet will be affected in a similar manner. It's not something that you can see. It is a parallel, not perpendicular dimension.
but it is changing. To expose oneself to the warp for any period of time invites certain death outside of the most
certain death,
individuals, and to stare into it will drive one mad. Much like the open seas, things dwell in the warp. Whether these beings were always there and were just emboldened by the carnage of the galaxy, we can only speculate at. At a time, you could
bro, does this current have fucking teeth on it? Hold on. Does this current have fucking teeth on it? That's crazy.
It was more calm. But a certain faction's galactic war in heaven didn't do it any favors. Now the warp is turbulent, and its realms belong to a pantheon of gods known simply as
Chaos.
The forces of chaos
Multiple
are beings that
Satans,
serve
all
directly
in
under
one
their
universe.
patron deity. There are
Parallel
4
dimension.
current gods of chaos at the moment: Khorne, Tzeentch, Nurgle, and Slaanesh. Each of them represent various facets of and emotions of sentient species and play a great game.
Hey, so I know Slaanesh. I know like the 4 chaos gods, or like the 4 members of chaos, have been around since like pre 40k or pre 41st century. Are they have they dropped like another chaos god? Is that like a thing that has happened, or it's like no, these are the 4?
Against one another for total control over their realms.
New Satan just
Interestingly
dropped.
enough, while their disciples have physical forms, we can understand the chaos gods do not have a physical visual that you can perceive in reality. So while there are tons of fantastic fan art, we do not know what they truly look like.
Oh,
though they are
that's
conveniently
interesting.
color-coded. Khorne is the god of blood and murder, carnage and slaughter.
What
He
is
the
this?
one who is
Warhammer
most
40k
powered by the
lore. We're
wholesale
learning about
killing
some today.
of any living thing. For Khorne cares not
That's how I
from
wink.
where the blood flows. With a sacred number of 8, he is the lord of all things involving
Wait,
killing
he's
and
got a
blood and
sacred
gore.
number?
The champions are extremely
But he's got a
strong
lucky
as well.
number? That's crazy.
Monumental muscles and extremely large weapons. A true analog to Khorne would be his greater demon, the Bloodthirster, an enormous muscle-bound flying devil with
Holy
an axe
shit.
so large it splits tanks in a single swing.
I actually
They
think I've seen
move
this guy
into
before.
battle with armor of
There's some
brass
lesser beings, but
adorned
the
by
4 are the only
skulls of their
gods.
foes and pools
Oh, like
of
the
freshly
Emperor's
spilled blood.
archangels,
This may
kind of.
appear to be quite frightening, of course, demonic.
Except
one
probably
might
not
say.
blood
But
related.
in the world of chaos, all emotions feed one of these gods in one way or another. If you were to define Khorne with single words, you would use blood, carnage, murder,
All
skulls,
4 of
but
them
you'd be
do.
missing out on important
Oh.
ones like strength, honor, prowess, courage, and skill. Khorne is not just about the wholesale slaughter of people. He is about the honor and power of martial combat. The true
Oh, he's the
strength
god of
there is
violence.
investing someone in physical strength and skill. Of course, a murderer would be someone who would feed Khorne, but a soldier could feed Khorne. A martial artist or professional fighter could feed
Any
Khorne.
form
A
of
warrior,
violence.
good or bad, feeds Khorne. A diplomat does not. A premier soldier does. A GoFundMe does not. This is what leads many mortals down the path of Khorne, for he will bless those that bring him enough skulls. And in a world this destructive, there are
Not
many
all forms
ways
of violence?
to reap a high tally for him. Prepare the dread claws.
So
and
Nesh claimed
unchain
some
the
of them.
mad
Oh,
ones.
sure,
Glorious
sure.
battle awaits us today, for the world below has refused to surrender. Let us descend upon them.
I do
with
think that's
fury
crazy.
and
Like,
rage,
basically
giving
any
no quarter and
emotion
sparing
feeds
only those
one of the
warriors
gods
who
of
fight
chaos.
well enough to earn a place amongst us. As to the rest, their lives and possessions are ours, but their skulls are for Khorne.
For
Normally, if I ever
Khorne!
want to explain Khorne, I just kind of show them this clip.
I'd never stab you in the back, Shepard. Warriors like you and me, straight to the face.
Moving on,
Straight to the
is
face.
second god, the god of trickery and
Mainly the forms
mischief,
where the fight could
changer of
potentially go
ways,
either
the
way.
great conspirator and
Oh.
the architect of fate. With a sacred number of 9,
Bro,
Tzeentch
Khorne
is
loves
truly the
JJK.
god of change in all of its forms, but there is an obvious undercurrent of mischief. and
Khorne's got that
cunning.
Shonen
Tzeentch
Jump
is
subscription.
Such a liar that his pants have gone
Subscription.
thermonuclear.
It's a weekly magazine. What the fuck am I talking about? Oh my god!
His favorite pastime is asking questions that have
I
no
need me one of
answers while
those.
simultaneously making up answers on the spot to a question he didn't ask.
Have you
He's a
ever had
politician?
dreams that that you had.
Who got this clip of me?
You could
Bricky, how'd you get this clip of me?
You could do so. You want him to do you so much you could do anything.
Yo,
He is such
it goes
a
on way
conniving
longer than I
bastard
thought
that
it
every emotion
did.
Of lying, of scheming, of trickery is a direct way to help feed him. An unfaithful partner, a politician, a spy. All these people feed Tzeentch in one way or another, and it doesn't matter if the intentions are good. Acceptance does not feed Tzeentch. Change does. Tzeentch doesn't care about your facts. He only wants opinions. Because he represents change, he
God,
also
the world's
represents
greatest
hope,
streamer.
though. Schemes are not always bad, and even the hope to make a better tomorrow is the change he seeks. Because he is the architect of fate and the mastery of sorcery, his presence is purely unknowable.
We haven't really talked about it too much, but dude, number one, the designs in Warhammer go crazy. The monster designs that we've been seeing are absolutely fucking insane. Eldritch is like the only way that I can describe a lot of these. It genuinely fucking blowing my top off right now. Like, I have no words. Just look at it, dude. Just look at this fucking creature.
Depiction of a Tzeentchian demon contains more eyes than are necessary and more mouths than I know what to do with. It is a biblically
I know what to do with them.
angel if the angel gaslit you into thinking birds are government drones.
Gaslit, huh?
But are they? The creatures at his disposal adorn themselves with the knowledge of sorceries and the unknown, all to provide a mind-crushing experience. Fighting demons from outside of our reality is difficult enough, but fighting demons
Warhammer, where the god of hope, where there's a god of hope, that's
is a
evil.
whole new
Everybody's
thing
evil.
entirely. And that is before we even get started on the gigantic bird of sorcery you're going to need to face. Do not ask which creature screams in the night. Do not question who waits for you in the shadow. It is my cry that wakes you in the night, and my body that crouches in the shadow. I am Tzeentch, and you are the puppet that dances to my tune. Third of the Chaos Gods
Dude's got
is
so
the
much
one
aura.
of acceptance of rot and pestilence, the grandfather himself, Papa Nurgle. Nurgle is the exact
Papa
opposite
Nurgle.
of Tzeentch. Where Tzeentch believes in change and hope for a future, Nurgle believes in stagnation.
Dude,
and
imagine
end
the
of
stench.
everything. At
Imagine
one
the
point or
stink.
another, we will all decay. We will all rot, and we will all end. And with a sacred number of 7, every single thing pestilent.
Not that I give a fuck about Star Wars, but looking at this guy reminds me of Jabba the Hutt. Did you guys know that they're making a fucking some new Star Wars show where Jabba the Hutt has a son played by my husband Jeremy Allen White? What the fuck?
And spoil and everything in between comes under the great shadow and girth of Nurgle himself. For Nurgle, the plight of mortals is his fear and wine. And no matter how
The Hutt
solid
clan
life
goes
might
hard.
be, everything will decay in the end. In the creation of life, there must be an end to that life.
Except for all those robots that don't die.
To end lives than grandfather Nurgle himself. Every boil,
It's got like a big
every
bell.
blemish, every pus-filled wound and disease, every rot and every plague is kept and concocted by Nurgle. This, humorously, keeps Nurgle as a jovial god. He is full of life
he's the
and
one full of
laughter,
whimsy.
and by creating as many diseases as he possibly can,
Oh.
he shares that joy with mortals. I mean, his envoy
Thanks,
is the great
Nurgle.
unclean one. And look at how happy he is. And there's a lot of him to love. A fear of death in general is feeding Nurgle.
Ew,
All
he's got his
disease makes him
intestines out.
stronger, but to pray for salvation for a wounded loved one is to feed Nurgle. The timeless and inevitable fear that one day you will rot and decay is what gives him strength. The Peloton won't feed Nurgle. Licking the doorknob on a public bathroom certainly does.
Jesus
However,
Christ.
should you embrace your grandfather's gifts, you may find
Crelly
an
is
end
feeding
to your
Nurgle
pain.
every single day.
Maybe. All mortal followers of the Chaos Gods found themselves there in one
So he can
way or
ring your
another,
death now.
either through the direct worship
True.
or the slow corrupting of their souls. Nurgles, but those that take Nurgle's gifts and embrace the decay of the
How much would it take? Like, be so for real. How much would it take for you to sip some of the Nurgle stew? Like dip your little tongue in it. Not that his tongue isn't already in it. How much would it take for you to dip your tongue in the Nurgle stew for real? Crowley's looking doorknobs on public bathrooms. No, but she is picking up what, oh god, what was it that gave her COVID? What was it that gave her COVID? It was some sort of like flavor powder on the floor of a buffet. She like stuck her finger in it and tried it because there was none like actually available at a regular place, and then she got COVID.
Their bodies may end up being
That's my
chosen
Oshi.
among his few as a faithful servant. In doing so, you will be free of the pain caused by Nurgle's ailments, and you may even find yourself just as jovial and happy.
Bro,
as he is.
honestly, maybe we fuck with
His
Nurgle.
enemies
At
shall
least
wither
he's not
and
miserable
die.
like
His
everybody
allies
else.
shall wither and die. The universe and all within it shall wither and die. And when the great corruption has settled over the land and permeated the very foundations of reality itself, then shall the Lord of all rise from the rot and ruin, spread his arms wide to reclaim all of his dutiful children. Those were the three
Nurgle
major chaos
is
gods
inevitable.
for a very long time. Emboldened by war and death on a galactic
Nurgle's
scale,
positive
ever
aspects are
present,
acceptance
but now
and
fact
comfort.
on the suffering.
Bro, hold on. Maybe Nurgle ain't so bad. Like, sure, there's like the pestilence and the death and, you know, all the horrible poisons and inflictions and the warts and the boils. Maybe Nurgle's not that bad. Maybe Nurgle's not that bad. Oh, acceptance of death and comfort of the grieving? Oh, well. Still, in comparison, pretty based.
Of a galaxy. One race, for a while, was able to elude the pull of chaos.
Pretty base,
An
all things
advanced
considered.
race of psychically attuned aliens whose master over the physical world was so strong that chaos
Nurgle, the
could
cosmic
not
being
glean
whose
from
place
them
of
the
worship is
morsels
just
of
the
power
Taco
they
Bell.
once had.
Nah,
Or
Taco
so
Bell
they
bathroom, dude.
couldn't. Not for a long while. 60 million years ago, in an attempt to combat the Necrons and Catan, the Old Ones made a new species.
Oh,
One with
brother.
innate power
The
in
space
warp and
elves.
the ability to harness it with a mastery that was unseen by so many others. A mastery so powerful.
I wonder
the
if Bricky
Necrons
can make me
retreated
less
to sleep in
xenophobic to
order
the
to wait it
Eldars
out.
in this
It
video.
was no longer a galaxy to be ruled by them, but instead begin the age of the...
The age of the Eldar.
The Eldar are a race of pointed-eared humanoids that are all
This
psychically
art goes so
attuned to
hard,
the
dude.
warp. If we're being meta
Unbelievably
here,
cool.
These are space elves, and these elves ruled the galaxy in the time the Necrons went to sleep and humanity began to rise. The Eldar's empire was galaxy-wide and lasted for longer than any other galactic power that we know of. Their understanding of all things was exceptional. With every single one of them being psychers, they had the ability
Wait,
to
every
master
single one
the
is a
warp and
psyker?
use it to their advantage.
That's incredible.
being a
That's
psyker
fucking
is
crazy.
basically like being a wizard, or I guess in this case it's more of a sorcerer.
I didn't realize they
since you were
all had
born
magic.
with the gifts as opposed to learning them. In order to utilize your psychic abilities,
Yeah, dude, the
however, you
90s
must
art
reach
is fucking
into
awesome.
the other dimension, into the warp, into hell for that power. So if you were to say cast fireball, your mind would reach into the warp, gather the strength to rewrite reality, to then cast fireball. Now, you might think to yourself, doesn't that mean if you are opening up a power to the warp, you may create a lot of risk to yourself because of all the horrible things we just talked about in the warp?
An incredible amount.
Yes. However, in Warhammer 40k, willpower is a real, tangible thing. In the
Wait,
sense
really?
that in its own right, it can be weaponized. Being strong of will means being strong of soul. And being strong of soul
And soul's
means you can
physical.
resist the pull of the warp that much more. A
Oh.
more inexperienced psyker opens up a hole into the warp that is large. And
What
that
the
hole
fuck? What game is
widens
this?
to get more power, allowing each
Wait, what the hell? What game is this? Is this a Warhammer game? Yo, what the fuck? First person? There's 4 people? What game is this?
evil things to get in. A powerful psyker is
Yo, that
able
looks
to
cool
open
as hell.
a
What the
very
fuck?
small hole
Is that Left 4
with
Dead but
immense
Warhammer?
force to get the same amount of power with less risk. The Eldar are master psychers.
Oh, dude,
Every
there's the
single one of
wheel
them can
gun.
call upon the warp, and
Dark
over
Tide?
millions of years they have perfected it so much
Hold on,
so
I'm gonna look
that
this
they
up.
can weave structures out of it.
'Cause that shit
In
looks
some
cool.
species in the galaxy, they utilize the warp itself for interstellar
Oh.
travel. The Eldar
Oh, it is like Left 4
ain't
Dead,
having any of that
seemingly.
noise. How
Oh,
about we
that's cool as fuck.
utilize a
What?
fancy alternative mode of travel that is substantially safer
Ooh,
than
about to
the
pick up a
old
Warhammer
ones created
game.
called the Webway. What about dying? Miss me with that. We no longer age, and if we do, we can just be reborn like that. Food,
Really?
water, materials.
Super
we make
immortality.
things out of distilled
It's even
warp
better than I
essence
thought it
itself.
was.
We sing unreality into cathedrals to dine in. What truly could the Eldari Empire possibly fear?
Themselves.
The Eldari Empire's biggest fear was themselves. With a
'Cause
society
they're fucking
so
crazy.
perfect, they wanted for naught, and this led them down dark and dangerous paths.
It's
the
fun, but it's
base
kinda thin?
functions of society
Oh.
are no longer a
Are they getting
problem for
updates?
You tend to
Like, is it a live service deal?
experiment. Perhaps the medium rare steak on your plate would be better if it was elf meat.
Oh,
Hey, I'm not
Jesus.
saying we should make cannibalism legal, but like, what's the issue?
As a
with
treat,
little
you know?
taste? Violent
A little bit of
sports
elf
is one
flesh as a
thing,
treat?
But how come we don't do sports to the death? I mean, if
Okay,
I mean, I'm just
hold
saying.
on. I will agree with the Eldars on this. I feel like it would not be the worst thing if we brought back combat to the death. I think that blood sports could go crazy in this day and age. Now, hear me out, because I know that sounds crazy, but I feel like almost every sport would be better if people were committing unspeakable acts of violence during it. We have blood sports, bro. Send me the pay-per-view.
Man, like, if both participants are willing and clear about it, then what?
Yeah, but I'm talking like UFC, but if they had brass knuckles on type shit. I want a coliseum where Manny Pacquiao goes in with his rocket punchers on. Remember that this description is highly sanitized? Yeah, you got to get it on YouTube, man. Yeah, you got to be able to have it on YouTube without them taking it down.
What really is the problem there, you know? Art is in the eye of the viewer, and what is considered art is completely up to the concept of one's own interest. A canvas adorned with the blood of a man wronged is truly the visual poetry that our society needs. Hedonism with a slow
How far is too
and
far?
consistent
The Eldars
hedonism.
don't understand
The
what that
Eldar
question
slid
is.
backwards into debauchery of the sort I cannot discuss on this YouTube video. Murder on stage, delicacies and drugs distilled from one another, the trade of slaves and concubines. and
Jesus fucking
much,
Christ, Eldar.
Much worse. The Eldar physiology has their emotions heightened, and they can feel more than a human
Bro, I'm the Joker, baby.
does. So while it can provide lows of pure despair, it can also provide greater highs.
It did get a bunch of
than you
updates
have
and quality of
ever
life
known.
improvements.
And swinging
Oh,
between
it just
the
gets
two of them
repetitive.
was
Got
the
it.
Eldar game.
That makes sense.
The warp took notice of this.
I might check that
heavily,
shit out. I'm not gonna
and it
lie.
began to
I think the
react.
spring sale is on,
galactic
isn't it?
Scale, the debauchery and the hedonism of the Eldar race caused levels of warp storm so pronounced and so volatile that it cut off interstellar travel for all those who used it.
Oh my god,
Communications
fucking
between
assholes.
planets was removed, and a nightmarish era of old night began. This continued
And it's
for
all the
thousands of
Eldar's
years,
fault.
hundreds of thousands of years. The Eldar all but removed from the problems being caused as they entered heights of more and more ecstasy. They needed more and more and more. Nothing was ever enough. More murder, more torture.
I think I'm allowed.
It's art,
I think I'm
it's
allowed to be
delicacies, it's
racist
life,
against the
this
fucking
silence
Eldarians.
of Ben Slanesh.
The Eldars. I think that's allowed, right? The other Chaos God I conveniently forgot to
Slanesh,
mention.
The Prince of Pleasure, she who thirsts, the god of unspeakable excess, is our fourth Chaos
Bro, she's
God,
smoking
with the
hookah
sacred
with her
number of 6
fucking
adorning
third
their
boob.
title. Slanesh It's a bit of a tricky one.
That's
Because
kind of
with our other
raw
three
as
Chaos
hell.
gods, there was a certain understanding of human emotions and desires. But
This is where we pause again and we talk about how absolutely fucking stunning and incredible the illustrations are in Warhammer, because who designed this? What fucking artist, what absolute fucking muse of a man or woman crafted this shit? Because this is amazing.
for Slaanesh, that desire is how they get
The
their
creativity
power.
is
The words
out
to
of
be
this
used would be
world, I
decadence,
swear.
pleasure, perfection, passion, excess, and many others. The pursuit of more. The want to do
I totally think
more,
that you should.
experience more, become more. That's what gives Slaanesh their gifts. A lot of people believe that Slaanesh is something that originates with sex.
I might check that shit out,
And it makes
Fuzzykiss.
sense why they assume that.
I
The
might
visuals
check that
of
out for
Slaanesh
real.
patrons are
Thanks for the
all
redeem,
very
Ender.
lithe and sexual, but they are also intentionally androgynous to appear
Slaanesh
attractive
is a
to variety of
bisexual's wet
individuals.
dream,
However,
brother.
to think that Slaanesh specifically derives from sex would be mistaken. While it is true that a lot of humanity's actions can relate to getting laid, and Slaanesh is the dark prince of desire, it's more on the lines of feeling an excess of an emotion. It is excessive touch and scent and desire, and a lot of that has to do with sex. That's why it looks like sex, but it's more than just that. A patron of the arts.
Oh, no.
feeds Slaanesh, one that aspires to become the perfect chef or
Dude,
master
my
of their
hyperfixations
craft, and
are
the sheer
feeding
pursuit
Slaanesh.
of that alone
Oh, no.
will feed Slaanesh. Whiplash is Slaanesh's absolute favorite film. Videos where people beat.
I haven't gotten around to Whiplash, but I fucking love Whiplash edits. Oh my god, dude. What the fuck did I rejoin into? Slaanesh. Slaanesh.
Elden Ring on a dance pad feeds Slaanesh.
There are no two words in the English language more harmful than good job.
What about good boy? What if we alter it? Does that work?
But is there a line?
Yeah. Is there a line for it?
This also moves into the concept of feeling. Sensation is a majorly Slaanesh-coded thing. It might start off
Slaanesh coded.
but then you get to play around a little bit, you know? You play with a little bit of pain. Light pain might not be enough, so you might want more. Or inflicting the pain could be your jam. Music
Oh, no.
can increase to volumes that may hurt your ears, and even then that might not be enough. More. You must
More!
have more.
More!
Many of the disciples of Slaanesh carry a demonic form in their lithe grace. The keeper of
The pursuit of
secrets
perfection
is his chosen
leads to an
envoy,
overlap
and
with
their
the other
movements are a
gods.
blur of dance
So
and
hypothetically speaking, you could feed multiple gods of chaos at the same time, depending on your actions.
pain with an aura all the more fatal. They dance and sing, but there's always a form of malice behind every action they take. An alluring gaze that will pull
Bro, look at the anteater dragon rideable thing. What the fuck? He's so cool.
you in right before the
I love this
demonic
little
entity
guy.
can crush you in that grip. Slaanesh's palace has 6 layers surrounding it, and one of them is the excess of gluttony, where the participant finds themselves in a beautiful banquet full of the most delicious foods imaginable. Tables of delicacies and rivers of wine tempt the user to such a degree that they cannot stop stuffing their face, unaware that the things they are eating
No!
are very
Bricky,
vaguely
get rid of the
familiar
tab!
meats. If
No!
one does not
You're gonna
see
expose me!
themselves drowning in the river of wine, they may soon fill their bodies up so much that they cease to function and fall over, becoming part of the banquet themselves. That is one
I like the...
of these 6 layers of Slaanesh's palace.
Hold on, well, Celeste, hold on. We might need to go back like ever so slightly, because I didn't realize that we were talking about a part of Slaanesh's fucking MTV Cribs Absolute Perfect Swordsman, Korn and Slaanesh. Yeah. I like the theory that everything feeds Slaanesh. So if you worship Korn, technically you're warring to excess. And if you worship Nurgle, you're diseased to excess. Oh, that's interesting. Oh shit, dude. I like that theory too. That's interesting.
Foods imaginable, tables of delicacies and rivers of wine tempt the user to such a degree that they cannot stop stuffing their face, unaware that the things they are eating are very vaguely familiar meat. If one does not see themselves drowning in the river of wine, they may soon fill their bodies up so much that they cease to function and fall over, becoming part of the banquet themselves. That is one of the 6 layers of Slaaneish's palace. This was the ecstasy that the Eldar civilization indulged in for millennia, and did so at a monumental scale that they created a god from it. Find pleasure in every moment, indulge in every whim. Let
that became extra horrifying very quickly.
Crude lives. We are beyond such concerns or worries. Every power is ours to use, every sensation ours to experience. We are truly masters of the galaxy, and all others exist only to satisfy our curiosities. We have earned our position of power.
I'm so unbelievably locked in. This shit is fascinating,
Time
dude.
itself is ours to command. We are eternal.
The Gangoons to a cum Satan is so good.
With the birth of Slaanesh, the Eldari Empire ceased to be.
Oh my god, dude, that's so good. Oh my god, I'm fucking crying. That's so good. Part of why, despite being so many millions of years younger, Slaanesh is as powerful as the other 3. Oh. Bro, we got power scaling in Warhammer?
A catastrophic event so horrible that the warp ripped a hole permanently in our reality. A fissure forever known as the Eye of Terror. With the sudden
Eye of Terror,
largest breath, the Eldari souls are a currency to be now collected by she who thirsts. Trillions of Eldar
get them
died in an instant. Slaanesh gorging on their souls to satisfy his palate. 99.9% of their
holy shit, it literally was almost all of them.
Are doomed to a fate worse than death. For Slaanesh now stakes a claim on each and every Eldar soul. From the moment they pass on, an eternity of torment awaits them. Remaining Eldar
you're
their
going to hell.
To stopping this eventuality. Their dying race so devoted to saving themselves from the Dark Prince, and in doing so, have found very creative ways.
Craft World Eldar.
In the modern world of Warhammer, the Craft World Eldar are the
I love that he
main
keeps
force
using
of
this
Eldar in the
picture. It's
galaxy, and
so
represent
fucking
the
good.
Elf style that many think of when you think elves in space. Fantasy.
Hold on, I just realized dude's kind of got the Vanitas helmet on.
Elves in space, not those elves. We'll get to them.
Listen, don't bring my wife up. Don't bring up my wife.
Large starship, the size of a continent, that acts as a form of flotilla. During the highest reaches of hedonism, many Eldar saw the demonic writing on the wall and began to try and seek asylum from their own debauchery. Those Eldar left on monumental craft worlds into the far
Remember that
reaches
super
of the
immortality the
galaxy
Eldar
and
had?
saved
Yeah,
themselves
Slaanesh did not
from
let that shit
Slaanesh's
slide.
awakening. The main thing the craft world Eldar seek is to temper their minds and bodies in a way that will never allow them to slide back into their old ways. The representation
is it called restraint?
Is that of a more feudal Japanese motif. Eldar follow paths as they age. The path of the warrior, the seer, the poet, the diplomat, the bone singer, and so on.
Bone
These
singer
are a strict code of conduct to hone the heightened Eldar psychology down a school of thought.
I'm just gonna come out and say it right now. If there, I know, like, what is it, Total Warhammer, Total War. I know there's a Warhammer. God, what's the word I'm looking for? Real-time strategy game, RTS. There you go. I know there's I think there's like 3 Warhammer RTSs, but like, bro, if I can't pick the Eldar and also make sure that I have a bone singer on the field, is there a bone singer unit? That shit, oh dude, that shit is so neat. See you later, Yuta. Already my study time for college. Have fun. See you in about 3 hours, everyone. If we're still on. If not, I'll save the Amazing Digital Circus episode 8 for a different stream. Cause we gotta watch it, you know.
In action, And if it sounds a hell of a lot like Bushido, well, you're damn right. Here's a medal and a soul stone. Don't lose it or eternity of torment awaits you. Going through these paths will allow you to take up not just a
manipulate
role
warp
in
energy to
Eldar
make
society,
physical
but keep your mind
constructs.
clear
Dawn of
from
War
the
has
past
them?
worries
Hell
that
yeah.
plagued them. Every Eldar is
Hell
simply a
yeah,
psyker.
dude.
However, very few of them actually utilize their psychic powers for fear of tempting she who thirsts. A large amount of emphasis is also put on ancestors of the Eldar and learning from them the farther you go down a path. This can sometimes be seen by the large variety of jewels adoring the armor of Eldar.
Oh, I thought that was
Those
just for
are
the
called
fashion.
Soul stones, the biggest middle finger to Slanesh they can think of. See, when an Eldar dies, these stones act as a backup, and instead of their souls going to Slanesh, they are then trapped and stored in this little stone. So when the Eldar say they commune with their ancestors,
Bro, they're on the cloud.
they mean so very literally, as the spirit and soul of generations before them are stored here. Often larger structures may contain vast amounts of soul stone.
I wonder what they do in the soul
Infinity
stone.
circuit in the craft world itself.
You got anything
allowing the
fun to do
souls
in there?
of
You
the
got games
dead
on your soul
to
stone?
help power their enormous starship. The young do not desire the discipline of the path, but rather their curiosity drives them to try every fruit from the tree. Thus, it is that so many take the path of wandering or the path of damnation in their first years of adulthood. And so, the great tragedy of our kind is played out again and again as the number of our people shrink from generation to generation.
Are you motherfuckers ever gonna learn? Are the Eldars ever gonna learn from their fucking previous mistakes? You can literally talk to the bozos that fucked up before you, and you guys are still making these same dumbass mistakes. Stop ruining your entire society. Stop it.
These paths, when completed, allow an Eldar to move to the next one, then the next one. However,
Oh,
since
you
this
can
is
do
the
all of
grim
them, huh?
darkness of the world, many of these paths rely on combat. The Eldar actually had gods at one point: Cain, Val, Isha, Azaryan, and so on. These gods are aspects of the Eldar pantheon, and while many were killed in Slanesh's creation, their teachings live on. For some, the strongest devotion to the Eldar gods is to join the Aspect Warriors and embody the wrath of Cain, their god of war. While guardians of the Eldar craft worlds are more akin to a trained militia, the Aspect Warriors embody a particular variant of the path. Each are led by a Phoenix Lord, a name passed down from generations and embodying the souls of prior Phoenix Lords with each new one. The Howling Banshees, led by Jane Zar, Fugin and his Fire Dragons, Baharoth and his Swooping Hawks, or Malgan Ra and his Dark Reapers.
I think it's really interesting that the Eldar are so heavy on the fuck Slanesh train. They're like, yeah, we're gonna go funnel our energy into an entirely different chaos god. Fuck off.
Aspect Shrine carries with it the Eldar way of war. Fast, hard-hitting, and incredibly tricksy. For they do not have the numbers
they're feeding
to
two
fight
of them,
in any
dude.
other way. The Craft World Eldar show how mangled an empire can be by their own actions. They once ruled the galaxy in an honest, non-hyperbolic way, but in the end, they were bested by themselves, and their most prominent remnants are forced to drift aimlessly through the galaxy, trying to save their species.
Oh, hold on. The jar is because Nurgle rescued, quote unquote, Isha from Slanesh, but he imprisoned her in his realm to keep her safe. Oh, brother.
She's from extinction.
Damn it, Nurgle, you can't go around kidnapping women.
Of she who thirsts. But for some, the party, it's just beginning.
Oh my god, the Slanesh heads. The Drunkari.
Within the
I think I've actually heard that word
city
before.
of Kamara. This dark city once existed as a port in the webway that allowed for ease of transport for the Eldar between its various domains. The significance of this city meant that it needed to be a bit more of a neutral territory outside of the jurisdiction of general Eldar law, and therefore it was allowed to self-govern. This did not go well.
Jesus, it's
Dark
the
city
dark
became a
web.
hideaway for all manner of sin. The Eldar race slipped into debauchery on a galactic scale that it birthed a god, and this was the city you went to when that wasn't enough for you. The
Oh my
convenience of being so
God,
deep within the webway was that it exists as a blind spot to the horrors of the warp. So while the rest of the Eldar fled the downfall of their species, Kamara kept partying.
Oh my
When
God.
Slaanesh was birthed, they were saved.
This is exactly what I don't like about the fucking Eldar. These guys only give a fuck about themselves. Oh my God. Yeah, I know we did all that shit, but it's not personally affecting us, so let's just keep partying. Let's just keep doing the same thing that annihilated 99.9% of our race.
The worst of it, thanks to them being nice and neatly tucked away inside the webway. But only somewhat. The Dark Prince did not have a grip around their soul, but the tiniest pinky finger, and they were still
just
pulling.
dipping
But
in there,
due
just
to
a
their
little
excess
bit.
hedonism, they found a solution to this problem. If they tormented others, they could temporarily rejuvenate their souls and continue to cheat their inevitable death by placating the Prince of Pleasure. And if they kept this up on the regular, they could effectively become immortal. Thus, the Drukhari were born. Unlike the more stoic elves you see in works of fiction, the Drukhari themselves exist as a sort of analog of the more grim and fiendish elves you find in Norse and European.
Chad, I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of feeling them. I kind of fuck with the Drukhari a little bit more than the normal ones. Hear me out. It's sure the immortality is also a big part of it. Immortality is cool. I don't know, man. It's kind of raw to be like, we're just gonna torture people and do all this other shit so that way we can kind of reclaim our immortality that we had before. That's kind of cool. That's kind of sick.
Mythology. The Drukhari are soul vampires, but the more basic means to feed are hardly enough to keep them going. This desire to feed is known as the thirst, and to quench it effectively,
Oh, are they fucking
they've
vampires?
mastered the art
Like
of
next level
biotechnology
soul
and dark
vampires?
sciences to really juice themselves up on the crispy soul sprite from the vending machine called the Galaxy. The majority of Drukhari act as pirates and raiders and slavers. They go
Oh my
into our
God,
physical
oh,
reality
they're
and
so
drag
evil.
people back to Kamara to commit atrocities that go beyond any imaginative torture a human can think of. The Drukhari are organized in various groups throughout the Dark City to accomplish this in a more organized and
They're
extremely
so
brutal way.
unbelievably
The
fucking
Cabals act
evil,
as the
dude.
main warriors of the city, led by their archons. Witches and succubi act as entertainment for Kamara in gladiatorial arenas, and the flesh-crafting homunculus keep the Drukhari alive and discover ever increasingly more painful ways to torment their ever increasingly large supply of
Okay, I still think the Drukhari are cool. You motherfuckers are so unbelievably evil. It was already bad enough. What do you mean you're making flesh homunculus? So that way you can continue to exact pain.
slaves they are brought. The Dark Eldar see the other inhabitants of the galaxy as little more than cattle, livestock that can be brought to bay or slaughtered at any time. Their fodder, however, is not meat and muscle, but the anguish and despair of the weak. The Dark Eldar do indeed drink blood, but also tears, and most sustaining of all, the raw essence of pain they wring out of their captives.
Bro,
The truth of the
Slaanesh
matter
loves
is that
these
Drukhari
guys.
sustain themselves on the suffering of others, not just morally, but physically. Kamara is a city rife with backstabbing schemes and murder. It is the worst back alleys of the worst ghettos at the best of times. Nothing is more horrifying to a Drukhari
Holy
than
fuck,
death,
man.
for death will see them in the talons of Slaanesh for an eternity of torment. So they do everything they can.
I feel like
to
Slaanesh
stop
would
this.
dap you
The
up before they
homunculi
start
covens
tormenting you, though.
grow dead members from
Holy shit. Their fucking face skin is peeled back. Ew, you got the armor pieces all up on the exposed flesh. That shit is so uncomfortable. But they do hate Slaanesh in return. You are
pieces of
spitting.
flesh as bargaining chips. The succubi create grisly gladiatorial spectacles that literally rejuvenate the audience members as captives are murdered for sport. To be captured by the Drukhari is one of, if not the worst fate imaginable in the world of Warhammer 40k. In a universe built on war crimes, they are the most debased war crimers of all time.
The most
To be
debased
tortured
war
and
crimers.
sacrificed in the gladiatorial arenas is a blessing, for you have escaped the fate of being in the Fleshsmiths control group, or being turned into a living and breathing piece of furniture for an
Oh
Archon's
my
orders.
God,
In a cruel twist
duh.
of fate, a newly born Drukhari does not arrive into this world loving torture. It is something they must grow to love. Grow to appreciate the suffering of other beings in order to survive in the world they have been brought into. If they succeed, they become
I take it back. I still fucking hate the Eldar. I still fucking hate these guys.
some of the worst monsters in the known galaxy. A dark reflection to the craft worlders and a taste of what Eldar society was like before the fall. If they do not succeed, they must find purchase elsewhere. Often those will join smaller parts of Eldar society like the Exodites or the Harlequins.
Somehow this
Exodites
one didn't
believe
go
in a
through. My
pre-industrial
soul is
variant of
draining, slave. I will top up using yours is crazy. That's fucking diabolical.
their society, often retreating to more lush worlds to ride dinosaurs and live off the land.
Okay, that's pretty
Prehistoric
hard.
style that
I'd
would
do that
normally
too.
laugh at if they weren't riding dinosaurs like ballers. The Harlequin dancing troupe are a subsect of Eldar that are more than just a little strange. A carnival of dancing jesters that serve the Eldar laughing god of Kegarok.
Okay.
They arrive never
I
when
fuck with these
expected
guys.
and leave just as quickly. Blurs of light carry their footsteps as they dance their foes into a grave. Combat is just as much
Wait,
of a
hold on,
joke
I kinda love
as
these
it is a
guys.
play on bloody murder. They travel and aid many other Eldar and sometimes even
Plus, the drip is immaculate. This is, bro. Are you mad that we never got a Dishonored 3? Here you go.
humanity for reasons we can never understand. Perhaps one day we would have, were they not stripped of their army book and folded into.
That's
the
such a cool
Eldar
model.
codes.
Thank you, I
So
am Kiwi. I
suppose
appreciate
it'll
you.
have to stay a mystery, or maybe it was one of Kegarok's master plans to get back at she who thirsts and save their species.
They don't give a fuck about this, man. They do not
Who
give a
could
fuck.
know?
Yeah, huff that
Perhaps it was
copium,
all
brother.
A sick and practical joke to Kegarok, and he would just find it very funny to watch me fumble the discussion of one human on a tiny blue planet across the galaxy. Oh, speaking of,
The Imperium of Man.
before the fall,
They're
of
also the
Eldar,
lore
Earth,
keepers?
or
Ooh.
Terra, as it's called, was in ruin.
Bro, hold on. Are you telling me that they are also the masters of theater? Not only are they funny and they worship one of the only whimsical gods in this entire fucking universe, they are also theater kids. Nah, we fuck with them. They're the only good Eldars.
One man who looks to put the pieces back together. Where did he come from?
That man
We
is
don't
not a
know.
man.
Some say he was the result of early shamans. Some say he is the final old one who escaped their species genocide.
I'm
And
more
those
likely
that
to
are smartest
to go on
know
that
the
side.
answer is it doesn't matter. He
True.
revealed himself as the
Who
Emperor
cares? It's
of
cool.
mankind, and he was tasked with the most monumental upheaval of humanity.
I am a really big proponent of the rule of cool. I think that most things are totally fine outside and inside of context as long as they're cool. As long as that shit is cool enough, it doesn't really matter.
Possible. The Eldari's warp fluctuations had turned the golden
Who needs logic when you got cool fucking, you got hype moments and aura, themes and such?
age of humanity into old night. Interstellar travel cut off? Check. An AI uprising? Check. Brand new psychers popping up and not knowing how to handle their powers? Oh, check. Demonic incursions? Check.
All
Thousands
of this
years
located in
this
South Florida.
occurred, and now the Emperor of Mankind showed himself
All of this in
to
Miami.
put the pieces back together. Unifying Terra under his rule, the Emperor founded the Imperium of Man and ruled it with an iron fist. He
A
was the
fleshy
supreme
iron
leader,
fist.
and nothing could stand against him. He wished to remove mankind from the yoke of its former failures, and he knew he would be the best leader they could have because he was right. AI banned. Religion
Let's
banned.
go.
You did as the Emperor told you, or his Thunder Warriors would put you in your place.
I mean, he's
That
got a bit of a
place
Gestapo,
often
but
being
like,
the
how
grave.
wrong was he really?
Now, Terra was thriving, but humanity needed to reclaim its long-lost brethren scattered across the stars. But to do so, he needed those that could build him a fleet truly meant for the reconquering of the galaxy.
Yeah,
And so he
give me
turned his
18
attention
suns.
to the red planet of
Also
Mars.
that. The Adeptus Mechanicus.
Mars and Terra were close allies long before the Unification Wars. Mars was the first world terraformed by humanity and became what would ultimately be the first hive world, an epicenter for industry and technology. The Age of Strife did not treat the Red Planet kindly, however. Mars was cut off.
I'm gonna say this, fully expecting to get absolutely fucking cooked by the end of this section. I think that, holy hell, dude, the Adeptus Mechanicus is the longest section in the whole video. Oh my god. I think that the Mechanicus, if I was actually going to be isekai'd into Warhammer, I think that if I was isekai'd into Warhammer, I could fuck with being in the cult of Mechanicus. I think I can make it through there. I feel like there's enough good stuff going on there. Good with the biggest, thickest quotation marks. I feel like that's like the least miserable one to be. The most supported theory of the Emperor's origin is that ancient shamans foresaw the problem of the chaos gods would be, so they committed a mass suicide ritual to combine their souls into a being that was powerful enough to fight them. That's crazy. Holy shit, they all fused together to make Gogeta black.
From Terra during this time, and the warp
Gogeta
that
blue.
ravaged the planet turned it into an absolute nuclear hellscape.
There's
Those
less
who
miserable
walked the surface
existences
were turned
out of
into
like the
your
main guys
run-of-the-mill
though.
mutant
Are
if
there?
They even survived the bombings they inflicted on themselves, but others were lucky enough to escape beneath the red sands in powerful fallout
Orcs? Bro, we
shelters.
need to get to the
These
orcs. I
became
keep hearing about these guys.
generational habitats, but this resulted in extreme reliance on technology and those who could use it. They began to view the technology keeping them alive less as a technological advancement and more of a divine intervention, with those skilled in it as priests. The Martians began to worship the power of the machine.
And their beliefs are
this
forced
resulted
upon
in
the fabric of
formation
reality?
the cult Mechanicus,
Because of
the
corn?
belief in a holy trinity known as the Three-in-One. The machine god serving as the spirit who gave rise.
Shut the fuck up. Hold on. They can be faster if they paint themselves red. Oh no, the orcs aren't until the next video. Oh man.
To all
Boo!
technologies known, the motive force, the deity that gives all life its ability to live, and the
Because red
Omnissiah,
things make
a
go
physical
fast.
manifestation
I love the
of
orcs. Hold on.
machine
We gotta get to
god
them.
itself. This belief began to manifest in them physically as well. What were once humans began to really mess around with the character creator options, and this tech obsession made them view instances of flesh to be weak and spend their lives removing what makes them human.
Hold
and replacing
on.
it with mechanical augments.
No, hold on. The cult of Mechanicus is onto something. I crave, I desire, I am on my hands and knees begging for the security and safety that steel brings. I think that humans are so bitch made. I think that our pathetic fleshy bodies should be elevated to new heights that maybe only steel can bring us. I think that the cult of Mechanicus might be onto something. I think that they're probably spitting, actually.
Robotic limbs, glowing eyes, mechadendrite arms, what was once a mass of flesh.
Listen, I'm a little bit different. I'm talking about humans. I can be whatever I want. I could be a robot right now if I wanted. My body didn't want that shit. I'm all natural. I just think that humans are bitch made, and I think that humans could use some advancements. I think that humans need to go through a training arc and then come out the other side better. They're all low tier psychers, but they combine their powers. The more of them there are, the more reality warps. This is what I'm talking about, dude. The Cult of Mechanic is rad as hell.
now looks like the back of a router, and the oldest members of the Mechanicus no longer even look slightly human. In addition to this, cloaked over all of their mechanical appendages are robes that reflect the color of their homeworld, the red robes of the Mechanicus. The Cult Mechanicum, now the Adeptus Mechanicus, create a fascinating combination of cultures all
That's
bred into
orcs, not
one.
Mechanicus? I mean,
Basically,
true.
Techno-zealot monks. Organic life is the machine god's greatest accomplishment within the scope of the great work. All praise he who is 3 in 1. By giving us life within an organic shell, he presents us with the means and opportunity to improve upon physicality, as is his divine plan. He grants us complex weakness, so we
Oh,
might
you're talking
learn
about the
metallic
orcs.
strength
Oh,
and
my
ascend
bad,
to
my
his
bad.
level
That's cool
of
as fuck.
machinic perfection. The Emperor's arrival to Mars was very much a walking in with the pizzas while the room is on fire moment.
By the way, here's our next part of the stream where I yell at you to go watch things that I like. Watch Community. It's so good, dude. 6 seasons in a movie.
But to the Mechanicum, they saw his arrival as confirmation of their belief. They took one look at the glowing golden entity that showed up on their doorstep and were like, that's him. That's the guy right there. And
That's
they
our goat.
immediately accepted him as the Omnissiah. Obviously, showing up and being called Machine Jesus shortly after wiping out all instances of non-Machine Jesus a little bit before.
Their beliefs can also be used against them. If the orcs believe that your gun still has bullets, they will drop dead as if they got shot. That's crazy. Dude, hold on. We need to get to the orcs. They're so fucking funny.
Is an instance of capital H heresy, but the Emperor saw the bigger picture. Were they strange with how they rubbed unguents on themselves, burned incense, and prayed to machines for them to work? Sure, but
Me
that's a
trying to get
lot of
RAM prices
production right
down.
there. So the Emperor devised the Treaty of Olympus Mons, a unifying agreement between Terra and Mars, and this union would be permanently etched into the Aquila of the Imperium as the two-headed
Humans
eagle.
have been known
One
to
head
shout
for Terra,
bang when they
the
run
other
out of
for
ammo for
Mars.
that
The
reason.
forces
That's
of the
so
Emperor would be
fucking
supplied
funny,
with
dude.
all the technology and weapons they needed to reunite the scattered remnants of humanity
What the fuck?
under one banner, and the Mechanicum of Mars would be able to keep doing what they were doing religiously and scientifically so long as they kept up their tithes. This tithe meant total quality control over all technology in the
Holy
Imperium.
shit.
Is it a big spaceship?
All of it?
AdMech take care of that. Tanks? AdMech take care of that. The literal bullets in a gun, you guessed it, but unlike the
This is going to backfire on them so unbelievably hard. This shit is going to backfire on them. This is going to backfire on the Imperium of Man so unbelievably hard. I can't even think about it right now. There's no way that this goes anywhere near even approachingly okay.
factories of today, the forge worlds of Mars and the creations of the Mechanicum are a bit of a different experience altogether. Instead of a factory on a random given world, the entirety
Interesting
of the
Machine
planet's
Jesus
surface
is an
dedicated
interesting
to
thing.
manufacturing. But that's a little tricky.
There's a Jesus for everything. There's human Jesus, there's robot Jesus, there's soulless robot silent Jesus, there's orc Jesus.
Isn't it? Considering that
Probably.
the usage of Silica Animus, or AI, is a big no-no.
Jesus.
And basically the largest...
I miss when AI videos looked like shit. I miss when AI videos didn't look almost indistinguishable from reality. Obviously, you can still tell when something is AI, or you can get pretty close, off of a glance. God damn it, dude! I miss when AI looked like ass, and it was just funny instead of incredibly concerning and ruining the environment. See you later, blood. See you later. Have fun at the gym. I miss when AI didn't fucking exist. Accurate.
Fortunately, there's a
Accurate.
really neat alternative that they've come up with. And that's called a servitor. Incredible device that can do
Holy
anything
shit.
from manufacturing, maintenance,
Are these the
door
floating
operation, even
skulls?
just float around. Like
Yeah,
a
I've seen these
little bug.
guys.
It's an extremely easy process too.
I want
All
one of
you need to
these.
do is take a human who is dying or preferably an enemy of the state, most likely that one, and lobotomize them. And then reprogram their brains to do exactly what they tell you. They even got little baby versions of them. Yay! So now you can rest easy knowing that the entire
Okay, I don't want the baby, but I still want one.
Outlaw AI and
It's a little fucked up. Oh, they outline, they banned AI. I'm telling you, the Cult of Mechanicus is where it's at. I think that even with the lobotomy, I think that I still want one. An enemy of the state, bro, just give me somebody on death row. It's cool. It's cool. They're not gonna fucking need it.
Learning new tech is heresy is run on lobotomized slaves. Whether they deserve it or not is unimportant.
looks so
and whether they
sad.
can still keep their consciousness trapped in their own minds is another thing entirely.
Oh no. Oh, it's Darktide again. Oh. Oh my god. Holy shit.
Your incompetence is showing.
An excerpt from the
Oh my
Servitor
God.
Creation Factories.
Okay, maybe I feel a
Human
little worse
beings
now.
Were standing in a switch-packed line between high
Modern lore
fences.
changed the baby ones into being
Manufacturer
vat grown.
produced servitors, but it
Boo!
was
That's
more
pussy
akin
shit.
to an abattoir
Give me
than a
the dead
workshop.
babies.
Every surface was easily cleanable. Servitors with
Lobotomized
springs
babies.
surgically attached to their backs prowled about, hosing filth from slit drains set into the perfectly smooth, slanted floors. As the line slowly advanced, the people were passed through various scanning devices, most of them mounted in ugly, functional arches that let out a constant series of acceptance chimes. Occasionally, one would let out an angry blare, and the indicator lumens would flash red. The rejected person was then swallowed up by a trapdoor opening beneath their feet. From these
Is he
pits wafted
fucking
a hideous
gone?
stench and the grinding sounds of industrial mincers. One rejected man grabbed onto the lip and hung there, arms and hands bloodied, shouting a stream of defiant profanities. Guards lined the grating either side of him and shocked him until he fell. The adepts wouldn't even waste bullets on these people. The trapdoor flipped up, and the next terrified person was ushered forward.
Holy
Violent
fuck.
metal arms snatched them up and spread-eagled them in the air, and a servitor shearer shaved them all over. At another, they were subjected to a high-pressure counterseptic wash whose chemical stink made me choke from 100 feet away. More scanners, more rejects winnowed out. Machines
So first and foremost, I'm not gonna judge this part because that definitely sounds like it would do something for somebody that may or may not be me. But holy fuck, man! They wouldn't even waste bullets on these people is crazy.
forcibly dressed them in a heavy rubberized garment common to all monotask servitors. These were saggy on them, all one size, until another process shrank them to fit their bodies, where metal cuffs, sockets, and collars bit into vulnerable flesh.
Oh my
The last
God.
few prayers gave way to screams at that point, and even the most stoic shouted in pain. They were ushered over a floor, buzzing with power that made them shriek with every footstep. "What's that for?" I asked. "Follicular inhibitor. To stop their hair from growing,"
What?
he said. Freaking sweet, Lois. As
Permanently
for their
bald.
scientific pursuits, the Mechanicum believe in the preservation of knowledge above all and the quest to expand it. However, as opposed to just innovating and inventing,
Dude, holy shit. The crime that leads to servitorization, that's not right, but that's okay, can be as minor as annoying a tech priest. Oh, they can just do that shit. They can really just do that shit if they want. Have I seen the official Sonic 4 title reveal trailer? No. I know that Amy's in that movie. I need to get around to watching Sonic 3. I liked Sonic 2 a
on their
lot.
own with their vast
Sonic 1 was
technological know-how,
fine.
They
It
believe
was alright.
it is a form of tech heresy. You see, because of their religious viewpoints on technology itself, they believe that the instruction booklet itself
Obviously, I haven't seen 3, so I can't really say whether or not this is something that has happened or would like sincerely be beneficial. I think that we should just cut those human scenes down to 15% of the movie. I think that we could basically throw that shit away and be fine. I think that we've proven that we don't really need that shit anymore.
is just
Man, I activated my own trap card. I fucking hate that for the longest time. Hey, do you want to make this movie with Alvin and the Chipmunks or the Smurfs or Sonic or Mario or whatever? Yeah, they got to be in the real world. They got to be CG creatures in the real world and X, Y, and Z. Oh, well, we have to have a human element so that way the audience can attach to that. Motherfucker, it's a movie. It's a movie. What do you mean you can't connect to a 3D animated film that's a fantasy? You're telling me that the Sonic movie wouldn't have sold gangbusters if there was no human element whatsoever besides Dr. Eggman? Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. It should have been the other way around. Everything is 3D. Everything is computer generated imagery, but Eggman is the only human element and he stands out. I would see Neo Metal Sonic. That'd be cool.
Builds.
Is Metal Sonic in the third movie?
On that without the proper written knowledge is to go against the divine word of the machine god itself. All knowledge is already in the universe. You simply need to rediscover it.
How's it going? Oh, they are? Sick.
To improve upon divinity is very heretical. Prior to the Age of Strife, humanity was able to populate the stars with devices known as Standard Template Constructs, or STCs. These devices were, as far as we know, supercomputers with the ability to pull up and detail how to create literally anything a startup colony would need.
Holy shit.
They were devices
super 3D printer, dude.
Technological know-how so that you could make a home away from home. The Mechanicum will not.
There's a similar complaint about 40K lore. More than half of the lore is about the humans. Dude, at least in Warhammer, like, the human shit seems like genuinely interesting. I'm so fucking sick. I'm so sick of humans being the central element for everything. We're the central element in the real world, dude. I want to play the game. I want to play the game with the funny robot people. I'm from Malaysia? Hell yeah.
An STC. Quite literally.
That's cool as fuck, dude. Welcome in from Malaysia.
This is the knowledge they seek, and that knowledge is divine. One time, scouts of the Imperial Guard found a functioning STC that provided the schematics on a knife that happened to be a bit lighter and a bit sharper than most other knives. These knives were adopted by 30 Space Marine chapters and were one of the most advanced discoveries of the century. This discovery was so significant that they were each awarded a planet for finding a planet for a machine that taught them how to make knives. Due to their religious organization, you can probably guess the Mechanicum are organized in a feudal structure with the highest individuals in power being a part of the priesthood. Cream of the crop being the fabricator general of Mars itself, who serves as a high lord of Terra, but also oversees.
Have you ever met a Malaysian guy? I don't think so.
Below them are tech
I don't think
priests
so.
that oversee the cult for the quest of knowledge and other more straightforward theocracy. Forge worlds tend to operate slightly more independently, what can cause some power struggles within the Mechanicum, because, you know, despite them all being weird robots, they love being given praise. And despite
Who doesn't have a nice praise kink in 2024?
They have their own military
what?
forces. They have the
2026.
private army and
Year
other
4040.
1920s Martian
Fuck.
style
Okay, we're gonna take a second. We're gonna sit in the embarrassment. We're gonna sit in it. We're gonna stew in it. We're gonna shrivel up. We're gonna feel a little cringe. We're gonna shrimp over in our chair, and then we're gonna press the play button again.
mechanisms like doom crawlers, Castellan robots, and of course, the Titan legions. Because nothing is cooler than a robot that towers over buildings. Ultimately, their very dogmatic view on technology as a whole has resulted in any innovation becoming absent, thus causing the Imperium to stagnate as a whole. The lack of ambition to create anything new and the wholesale murder of anyone who even tries leads to things becoming derelict. I grow weary of this flesh I was born into, strangely
True, me
disgusted
too.
by its nature. I crave only the cold, clean certainty of steel and silicon, that I might become one with the blessed machine. I do not expect you to understand, you who cling to your flesh as if
You
it were
who cling
immortal,
to your
seeking
pathetic
only to
flesh.
preserve it, to protect it. One day you will see the folly of your ways, and then no doubt you will come begging to my order to preserve you. After the groundwork had been set,
Honestly, I will
unification-wise, it
be.
was time
I
to
will be
start
begging
getting
you.
things together for the Emperor's
Well, now you've met me.
crusade across the stars to bring humanity under one
Everybody
banner.
gangsta until
Thunder
the
Warriors were a
church starts
perfect fighting
walking.
force for unifying Terra and Luna, but the galaxy was a whole different thing. You see, these warriors weren't soldiers in the eyes of the Emperor. They were tools,
one sec, chat.
extremely blunt tools used for the fast conquest of Terra. As the Emperor was concerned, the tools you use at home aren't the same ones you take on a road trip. So the Emperor rid himself of his tools in the exact manner you think he did, and he went forward to crafting a brand new tool. One more mobile, more efficient, and ready.
Sorry about that, Chad. I had to take my shirt off like some sort of harlot.
They shall be my finest warriors, these men who give of themselves to me. Like clay, I shall mold them, and in the furnace of war forge them. They will be of iron will and steely muscle. In great armor shall I clad them, and with the mightiest guns will they be armed. They will be untouched by plague or disease. No sickness will blight them. They will have tactics, strategies, and machines so that no foe can best them in battle. They will be my bulwark against the terror. They are the defenders of humanity. They are my soul.
Let's go. The humans that we fuck
And
with.
they shall know no fear. The vastness of the Milky Way galaxy meant that the Emperor needed assistance.
Are we not
bringing
still in
everyone
Mechanicus?
back to the fold. And who better
Says
to
we
do
still are,
this
but that's okay.
than himself? But since the technology to be in many places at once does not exist anymore, the Emperor decided that it was time to become a dad, the same way Geppetto did, and with far less care. It is not my son, Arkan. None of them are. They are warlords, generals, tools bred to serve a
Yeah, that's
purpose,
gonna give them
just as
daddy
legions
issues.
were bred to serve a purpose. What a dad. The Primarch
What a
was starting
dad.
to create charismatic and unique leaders in the Imperial military. The diversity of these eventual leaders meant that each one could be specialized for certain circumstances across the galaxy. Depending on the type of conflict, one leader might be better than the other. So instead of forcing one leader to acclimate to a situation directly, it would be better to send a specialized leader and force to handle it. In order to do this, the Emperor used his genetic know-how and maybe a little bit of that forbidden stuff to
A little bit of
create
that
these
forbidden
genetically perfect
technique.
gene fathers that had the ability to serve as his analog directly, and also serve as the leaders of the respective Space Marine legions. All 18, that's right, all 19 of his sons were meant to be directly
You can
molded
draw
by
me,
the
Ashton.
Emperor himself, despite their genetic differences. And they go as follows. in
Just
order.
chilling on the
Lionel
on the all
Johnson,
caps.
Thulgrim, Percherabo, Jagatai Khan, Lehman Russ, Rogel Dorn, Conrad Kurz, Sanguinius,
Aerodactyl.
Ferrus Manus, Angron, Robute Gilliman, Mortarion, Magnus the Red, Horus Lupercal, Lorgar Aurelian, Vulcan, Corvus Corax, and Alfarius and Omegon. His sons, finalized and crafted to be the warriors he needed them to be, were complete. But he may have decided to do a bit of dabbling with things he shouldn't have.
Oh no, not the forbidden,
Before the Primarchs were
not the
ready to go,
forbidden
an intervention
skills.
by the gods of chaos prevented his plan from being completed as intended. Though the sources vary, the ultimate result of the Chaos God intervention was that all of the Emperor's tools were scattered throughout the galaxy at unknown places and times.
The reason for the changing numbers is because two of them did something that caused the Emperor to redact their existence, and one of them was split when they were scattered. What the hell? That's crazy. Can I guess your age? Don't tell me, because that is doxing yourself. And also, if you were under the age of 18, then you would kind of get banned. Tis just the rules of the YouTube. See you later, Ashton.
Each one of his sons ended up in a completely different world.
Yeah, it's Warhammer
And instead of
Poke
being
Rap.
able to directly influence their upbringing, these children were instead forced to experience the unique nature of their respective homeworlds. Some had a great time and lived in general luxury. Others,
Grimdark.
not so much. Despite his
Oof.
closest advisor, Malkador the Sigillite, saying, "All right, Chief, let's try this one again," the Emperor sensed each of his sons were still very much alive. And one of the
Don't say that,
primary
Nani.
objectives of the Great Crusade
Don't dox
shifted
yourself.
to reclaiming each of his sons so they could take command of their specific Space Marine legions and carry out his will. These original Space Marine legions that were created alongside their Primarchs go in order: the Dark Angels,
Here we go.
Emperor's Children, Iron Warriors, White Scars, Space Wolves, Imperial Fists, Night Lords, Blood Angels, Iron Hands, World Eaters, Ultramarines, Death Guard, whoosh, Thousand Sons, Luna Wolves, eventually Sons of Horus, the Word Bearers, Salamanders, Raven Guard, and the Alpha Legion. Space Marines, unlike their gene fathers,
Bro,
the
there's a lot of
Primarchs are
fucking-
not made
there's
in
a lot of-
vat. There's
a lot of
process to
people.
recruit more members from humanity itself, which seems a bit strange considering how massive a Space Marine is compared to a normal man. But don't forget, the Emperor is really good with genetics. Less good with anesthetic, however. These prospects are recruited across humanity from various reasons and methods.
This
and
Space Marine too?
are generally killed during that process. But
Oh,
sometimes
most
they
people
aren't,
don't even fucking
and they
survive
are
it.
able to go through more and more of the actual training to assess certain traits that are important.
God, I love
and
the
relevant
chainsaw
to
sword
being a
so
Space
much.
Marine. Most of the time, the common factor is a pure, unrelenting willingness to kill the enemies of the Imperium. After going through psychological screening, the prospect, now called a neophyte, goes under the knife to become a Space Marine. And here is a quick list of all the cool new stuff they get.
Speaking of Poke Rep, it's coming
genuinely
back.
Shoved into their bodies. A
Oh,
secondary
never mind.
heart, an organ that makes your bones grow, an organ that makes your muscles
Holy
big,
shit.
an implant that makes your blood
Give me some of
stronger,
this,
a
man.
little organ that turns your white blood cells into super white blood cells, a brain
Sup,
implant
Frank
that allows
Hogan?
you to sleep
Yeah,
while
we're getting
being
some
awake,
Warhammer
a
lore in
pre-stomach
today.
that allows you to digest literally anything, a spinal
Honestly,
implant that
hook
allows
me
you
up,
to
dude.
absorb
I want
the
these kind of
genetic memories
upgrades.
of what you eat, bigger and better lungs that can let you breathe underwater, an implant that gives you stronger eyes, new ears.
See you later,
that
Nani.
keep you
Thanks
from
for swinging
being
by.
dizzy, a brain implant that lets you go into suspended animation if you're in a bad shape, skin that acts like transition glasses. I almost got it in one take. A brand new kidney, the ability to taste the air and find enemies like a
What?
bloodhound, a special coating on your skin that allows you to be protected in space, the ability to spit acid, a gland that allows you
Wait.
to absorb the unique genetic makeup from
All of this has been very, yeah, that sounds like some crazy Space Marine shit. What do you mean they got spit acid? How have I never heard of this?
the gene seed in the first place.
Yeah, it's like a
and
more extreme
straight-up
Spartan
carapace
upgrade.
that allows the Space Marine to interface with
Oh, you
their
have the game?
power
How is it?
directly. Quite
How is it,
often,
Frank?
These are put inside of you at dubious levels of mental alertness and dubious levels of anesthetic. After a more generalized indoctrination into the faith of the Imperium,
Bro,
and
just
a
a
bit more
fucking mound of
training and
corpses.
other important manners, they can finally be welcomed as a fully fledged Space Marine. A Space Marine is quite literally a walking tank that is armed to the teeth. Two of the more iconic weapons held by a Space Marine are their bolt gun, which fires explosive shells the size of soda cans, and a chain sword, which is
Yeah, the coolest
Space
shit in
Marine
the
is
world.
clad in a colorful carapace known as power armor, crafted from extremely heavy and durable ceramite. The power armor of a Space
Ding
Marine
dong,
protects you
waffle
from any
delivery.
terrorists you may face,
Hey, Ann, how's it
be
going?
the void of space itself to an inhospitable atmosphere. This armor, combined almost biologically with an already massive physique, makes the Space Marine an almost unstoppable fighting force. And hell, if the armor doesn't protect them enough,
like throwing
they can
holy
always
water on
become
them?
a walking coffin like the dreadnoughts of the chapter.
Holy
What truly
shit.
adds to it all, however, is the sheer difference in some of them. While a Space
You can go so far in the Space Marine shit that you just become a tank for real? That's insane, dude. What the fuck? That's
Marine
crazy.
in its own right is an indoctrinated freight train on legs. How they act can be quite different from chapter to chapter. The gene seed of a Primarch is not just helping them become big and strong, but allows them to gain certain traits from their forefathers. Everything from how they think to even slightly adjusting their physical appearance once it's been implanted. The gene
What?
seed can be the personality of an entire Space Marine. Take the Salamanders, for example. Salamanders
Oh, hey.
have a predisposition to fire, as a whole and tend to be extremely
I'm the best
large
streamer
due to
that
the
you
size
know.
of their
Thank you,
Primarch
Ann. I
Vulcan
appreciate
and his
you.
enormous stature. Whereas someone like Sanguinius, Primarch of the Blood Angels, share more vampiric features
Hey,
and
the
more
twin.
angel-like qualities. A gene seed is not just aspects of the Primarchs, but they are also flaws too. Magnus the Red and his Thousand Sons underwent something known as the Flesh Change, a horrifying mutation
Is that what made you red?
while it made them strong psychers, would affect their bodies so terribly that they would mutate away from humanity. Where other factions have inspiration for their culture from our real world, like the feudal Japanese of the Eldar or Egyptian style of the Necrons,
Spoiler for the
these
Dreadnought.
Space Marine chapters themselves carry an inspiration. The White Scars are motorcycle riding Mongolian.
Was that
These
Rick
Space
Grimes?
Wolves are Norse Vikings. The Dark Angels are Knights of the Round Table, and so on. This moves into their fighting style, and
They added
truthfully,
a new
there
class?
is no
Hell
end
yeah.
to the characters and options when it comes to the Space Marines. Space Marines are the main symbol you see, and while many of them can be simply indoctrinated warriors who only care about conflict and can be quite boring,
So I'm just gonna throw this out here because it's something that I've been thinking about since the first video. Do the humans not have cloning technology? I feel like the humans would have cloning technology and be able to mass produce Space Marines. I'm kind of surprised that's not a thing. Unless Bricky brings it up in 15 minutes.
Or Bjorn, or Argel Tal, or Karn, or Lucius, or Erebus. And then you discover the wealth of these characters and tools of war you can have. For 1100 years, I have fought and I have seen the darkness in our galaxy. I have seen the vileness of the alien and the heresy.
They can't
of the
clone?
mutant.
Oh,
I have
that'd be too
witnessed
OP.
the
That'd be
sin
too
of
OP.
possession, and I have seen
They would just
all the
win
evil
the
that
galaxy.
galaxy harbors, and I have slain all whose presence defiles the Emperor. I have seen what you will see. I have fought what you must fight, and I have slain what you must slay. So fear not and be proud, for we are the sons of Sanguinius, the protectors of mankind. We are indeed the angels of death.
I could
Despite
probably-
being the poster children for Warhammer 40k as a whole.
Dude, honestly, I could see myself getting indoctrinated and becoming a Space Marine. I would probably die. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that I would be this guy over here punching motherfuckers in the face. I feel like if I was a human in the Warhammer world, I feel like I would definitely just be like, yeah, I'm gonna go try to be a Space Marine. I'm gonna go try to be a Space Marine because my life is absolutely fucking garbage. My life is absolutely terrible. I might as well be a huge beefy badass or die and get out of here. Yeah, Frank, drop the lore, brother. Drop the lore, brother. One group does, but Space Marines can't be cloned. Oh.
The presence of a Space Marine is a rare sight for the countless trillions of humans across the galaxy. Seeing one of these monstrosities is like seeing something akin to an angel sent by the Emperor himself. These angels
If
of
you see a
death
Space
are the
Marine, you know you're
essential
fucked
fighting
up.
force to bring
You know your
humanity
situation's
back
bad.
under the unified banner of the Imperium. Yet ultimately, the
Oh, is this the
Marines are
headbutt scene?
individuals torn from their families
Yes.
and conscripted to genetic
Bop.
modification and lifelong service for the dying Imperium.
I fucking love that scene so much. Oh my god.
Light, most believe
Space Marine augmentation starts in early puberty? Holy shit. Oh, that's insane. Oh, that's horrifying. That's horrifying. Your brain's not even halfway to getting developed. But I guess, you know what, lore-wise, that probably does make sense because your body has to undergo so many changes. Bro, holy shit. This is the grimdarkiest grimdark in the whole fucking world. Holy.
they are above and beyond the people they are designed to serve. Once designed as the protectors of humanity, they seldom view humanity as something worth saving. To the extent that it is a tiny, minute rarity, though not unheard of, for a Space Marine to put a normal citizen above them in any way. For most Space Marines and even their Primarchs, they are only here to do a job. They're
only
to
here for
kill
action.
the enemies of humanity, and I would be remiss if I didn't add at least one more of my favorite quotes to the tail end of this section. "The time for speeches is done," said Rogel Dorn. "The first great test
it's our goat Rogel Dorn. It's our guy.
My order to you all is simple, yet heed it well, and exert yourselves to see it done. They are coming. Kill them all." While the Space Marines are the spearhead of the Imperium's Great Crusade and also a major player in its warfare, there is a significant amount of importance that must be taken on their transport. What sci-fi universe would be complete without its navy? When you think of the navy or ships on the open sea, you think of something that is sleek, something mobile, and something pretty big. For perspective, the longest self-propelled ship in history was the TTC-Wise Giant, an oil tanker that was about 458 meters long, or over
What is
about
the Azure Lane
1,500
equivalent
feet.
of this one?
This right here is child's play in the world of 40k ships. A ship that is considered to be
Holy
an
shit.
escort vessel in the Imperium is
a
about 3
castle.
times the size of a Sea-Wise Giant, and the size of the ships only go up from there. Your most common ships are the cruisers. The light cruiser tends to average at about 2 kilometers long, or just over a mile in length, where the Dictator class cruisers can be over 3 kilometers or 2 miles.
Holy.
The largest ships are your battleships, and they are tremendous. We're talking 5-mile long, half a mile high monstrosities that look like gigantic
Oh my
Gothic
God.
cathedrals and filled to the brim with weaponry. And not only
Oh
are they
my
filled with
God.
weapons, but they are also jam-packed with crewmen. Battleships tend to, on average, carry a crew
Filled with
between
fucking
several
space
thousand to
marines,
several
dude.
million, and they need every single one of those members because we don't have advanced technology for other things to pilot themselves or control themselves in a meaningful way because there's no AI. A lot of this stuff has to be done manually. Even the
Bro, take me back. Or take me forward. Get me out of this fucking AI hellscape. I'll live in a grimdark universe if I can buy RAM for less than $500 fucking dollars. There's estimated to be 1 million Space Marines, about the same number as how many worlds the Imperium has. Holy.
reloading
The
of
Imperium
those
gets
giant
down, dude. They're
batteries
very
is a form
fucking
of
dedicated.
manual labor. And of course, generally speaking, gliding through the stars is a very slow way to do things. And let's be honest, there can't be a science fiction setting without some form of hyperspace travel. This
Never.
form of travel in 40k is less like going to Plaid in Spaceballs and more like going into Davy Jones' zipper dimension in SpongeBob.
Oh, now what? I suppose you're gonna show me. Oh, gee, that's very nice. Oh, what is this? Some kind of magic act?
Sticky fingers! I really gotta get around to JoJo Part 7 now that that's coming out. Nickelodeon, don't shoot and kill me. It's for
utilizes
use.
the immaterial warp to do so. Warp travel is handled by a navigator, which is an abhuman. It's a mutated human, don't worry about it. And they have a gene that gives them a third eye and the ability to help steer the ship through the warp, which, as we know, is hell itself and unreality. Now, this might sound
It's kind of like half
exceptionally
Mechanicus,
dangerous,
half
and that's because
Imperium.
it is. Now, the ship does have protection in the form of a Geller field, though. Originally, I assumed the Geller field is what you think it is, a large force field stopping all manner of horrible things, like demons from the
shit.
warp tearing apart your
I didn't know
ship.
Star Trek got down like
How
that.
wrong I was, though. So, space travel through the warp basically involves riding.
What are we
on the
watching?
sea of souls.
Warhammer
Hell
lore.
is real, and you can surf on it. So
Every
you allow the
Warhammer
current
faction.
to carry you and the navigator to direct. But how can a current of souls and unreality carry you when it doesn't obey the laws of physics, time, or again, reality? What
Good
a
question.
Geller field is not a force field, but a comatose imperial psyker dreaming of reality. It is not a bubble.
What?
It is a force of reality being projected by mutant sleeping beauty to counteract the unreality of the warp that you can then surf on. This, of course, is
Oh,
not
what
a
the
foolproof
fuck? That's
method of
incredible.
travel, and Geller fields can and do collapse fairly regularly.
That footage is from the original adaptation of Dune. Patrick Stewart was in the OG Dune. That's amazing. That's so cool. Wow, dude. I've only seen Dune Part 1. I haven't seen Part 2. I think they just announced Part 3. Dude, seeing the force field things in the original adaptation in comparison to fucking Timothy Chalamet's, that's crazy. That's crazy. How long is the video? We've got about 26 minutes left. It's 2-hour-long video.
Being subjected to the warp itself without this Geller field is a terrifying prospect. In the best
Oh my
case
God.
scenario, your ship will be torn to shreds. But there are countless instances of ships being thrown out of the warp randomly throughout time itself. You leave for a 2-day mission.
I think
and you come
Therefore
back
I Am
90
is a
years
very
in the
real
past.
element in
Maybe you feel
Warhammer.
like you're lost in the warp for a century and it's only been 45 minutes. And that is only if the waves of souls don't rip your ship apart or have demons arrive on it to do unspeakable things to the crew.
It's
The
a
Imperial
lose-lose,
Navy
low-key.
is an
It's a
astronomically
lose-lose.
powerful force for the Imperium because the sheer volume of ships and guns on those ships create firepower that can sunder planets. This is all juxtaposed with the
I don't know
sheer
too much about SCP
backwater
lore either.
nature
That
of
would be
these
that would be
ships. While
fun.
they are manned by crews of zealots, they are also operated with
All of our
such
reaction
a
streams are just gonna be
backwater tech,
lore.
it completely confuses the reader.
It's all just gonna
You
be
see the
lore
long
streams.
batteries of portside cannons that the ship has, and remember that AI is heresy in this world, and that all the mechanics are utilized by lobotomized slaves. So how do they load these? Well, they have gun gangs, massive gangs of hundreds of people manually loading these cannons.
Holy
these are
shit.
genuine gun loader gangs that get into gang wars and squabbles. On the ship's bridge,
Warhammer is just Detroit in 40,000.
into the ship's chair permanently to control it the best they can.
Oh my
Giant
god, dude.
screens
This
of hololith data
horrible
fill the room,
fucking
and sensors across
existences.
the ship are just as likely to tell you information as a serf running up to you with a scroll of parchment is. You reach to a microphone to shout orders down a hallway as paper readouts tell you information of the enemy, and holy sigils and candlelit incense burners gleam your next move. While the
That's cool as fuck though. The Imperial Navy.
faction of the Imperium in the same sense.
Dude, aren't they making that SCP anime? Yeah, they're making an SCP anime soon.
Format
Gang, we must load the
it
gun.
is what shepherds around the entirety of its armed forces. Every Space Marine Primarch had a flagship, and every strike cruiser and battle barge has a story to tell. But if there is a single thing that the Shield of the Navy does the best, it is to help support and supply the monumental forces of the Imperium. The hammer of the Emperor himself, the uncountable men and women of
the Imperial Guard.
I don't care if these things have adapted to resist our las guns. If we can't kill them with our rifles, then we'll kill them
It's just
with
the
heavy
infantry?
bolters. And if we can't kill them with heavy weapons, we'll use grenades.
SCP Galenic. Galleonic. I should really watch that trailer. I'd watch it on stream if it wouldn't kill me.
That's what it means to be a soldier of the
Hi,
Imperial
man. Welcome
Guard.
in. How you
Now
doing?
follow me. Charge! There is no better symbol of the might of the Imperium itself than the Astra
Fucking
Militare,
waves of these guys.
the Imperial Guard. Though the Space Marines take the glory and stand as the visual representation of the Imperium, their numbers are dramatically thin and specialized in comparison. To reclaim 1,000,000 worlds, you need a countless number of troops willing to fight and die for your cause. The
How are you
Imperial
getting this
Guard
many
represents
people?
The Imperial truth made manifest. Every year, the worlds of the Imperium pay a tithe in the form of soldiers to fight the good fight of the Emperor. And
well,
this
that explains
number
it.
is impossible to pin down. Even saying billions would be a dramatic understatement. The sheer volume of
What?
soldiers serves as the fundamental
Imperial Guard is all
backbone
the
of
rank and
Imperium.
file? Oh.
99.9% of battles fought by the Imperium
Ursats?
are
What's that?
fought by the sundering
Crack.
might
What's
of
Ursat?
the Imperial Guard. With the knowledge that the Space Marines are essentially sentient tanks, what do the members of the Imperial Guard have? If they're the might of the Emperor himself, are they not suited up
Water
in a
break.
similar way? No. Not really. No fancy suits, no biological enhancements, and basically no expectation
Real
to live.
goons.
Once a regiment of guard are activated, they are sent directly into battle with almost no expectations that they will survive. This is because, despite their training, their incredibly powerful armor, and extremely strong weapons that would crush any army of the modern day, they are so hopelessly outmatched to the things they will face. Sending a member of the guard is throwing a rock at a nuclear bomb. However, where they lack in advancement, they make up for
It's
in
World War
sheer
I, but
numbers.
Detroit.
And their overwhelming force can be the difference maker in any deployment they face. Quantity is a quality all its own.
Please, for the love of the Emperor, be one of those VTubers that are actually learning about Warhammer because it genuinely interests them. Why else would you react to a fucking 2-hour-long Warhammer video? I know that a lot of VTubers have done that before, but like, why would you commit to something this long if you weren't even interested? What the fuck? I'm pinned hair. No, dude, genuinely over. So we watched the Warhammer I thought it was going to be in the recommended, low-key. We watched the timeline video, and now we're watching this one. We're probably going to end stream at the end of this one. But no, dude, Warhammer is very interesting. I've had these in my watch later for I don't know how long. How long did this fucking video come out? Was this like a year ago? Yeah, just about a year ago. I've had this in my watch later for a really long time. And I was thinking, man, it's been a really long time. It's been like a really long time since we did like a chill react stream. This seems like the perfect time to actually fucking get some Warhammer lore in my face.
If they do happen to survive, they will be sent to the next battle and so on. Seldom do members of the Astra Militarum get old or retire, and those that do are truly to be feared. There's an old saying that the average lifespan of a guardsman is—
Bro, they got the chainsaw sword too! Honestly, man, Warhammer weapons are so fucking cool.
about 15 hours from deployment.
I'm surprised these guys even got the
sheer
swords.
number of guardsmen out there in any given battle, that number is probably accurate. When several million of your pool of guardsmen die within the first few hours of combat because the orcs threw a moon at you, it can really screw the numbers. The soldiers of the guard are conscripted and trained on an incredible number of worlds in the Imperium, and these worlds can impact their training and their combat style directly. The most famous visually
Goose,
are
don't go breaking your toe, brother.
Canadian shock troops.
Wish you luck on learning Warhammer lore. This shit is so peak. It's very fascinating. It's very, very interesting.
Level of Catachan jungle fighters and the iron-willed Mordian Iron Guard. This also helps them specialize against individual types of enemies. The Indigan Prefects are a special guard regiment that
on
came
the
from a
Bane
planet
Blade.
whose planetary governor,
Sounds cool
the
as
leader of
fuck,
the planet, thought it was fun to—
I know we've been doing a lot of Warhammer glaze. Genuinely, we'll cover the ground real fast. Art spectacular, world building spectacular, designs incredible, weaponry fucking phenomenal. The naming of things is a fucking 12 out of 10, dude. As soon as they started talking about the War of Heaven, it's all been up from there. Holy.
Collect exotic animals, which then crossbreed and then became the giant freight train-sized monsters destroying the planet. So the Indigan Prefects
the
are
Death Corps of Krieg are better.
Hello, Tyranids. One particularly interesting officer in the Guard is the enforcement officer known as the Commissar, and they are one of the more visually striking members of a regiment. These are specialized Imperial officers and act as morale officers. But instead of singing songs to the troops and providing hot meals, the Commissars are there to make sure that the members of the regiment continue to fight to the bitter end. If a soldier does not
to
meet the
force
standard
them
of
to
the
keep
Commissar,
going.
The solution is simple. There are trillions of other soldiers out there. We don't really need you. Combat
they just
fatigue,
kill you.
headshot. Concerns about the conflict? Headshot. Fleeing
They
the
just
battlefield?
fucking kill you.
Bet that's a headshot. Considering that these officers tend to be outside of their regiment, feelings on them can be mixed. And in fairness, certain commissars like
dude, they fought the fragments until the atmosphere dissipated.
Better with the whole people talking part, because if say you were trying to tell a
the Doom Hammer, then actual tank,
you might take a mysterious leave of absence inside a carnivorous plant. But no matter what I say, I don't think I can truly convey the sheer might of the Imperial Guard, so I'm gonna get a visual aid. Let's take a look at this image right here, right? This is the cover of the 9th edition Codex for the Astra Militarum, the official cover art. Your eyes may be drawn to the dark and brutal looks of some of the main members on the front and the gigantic orc they are attacking. But
yeah,
zoom out a little bit. There is no floor. There is only people. And behind those people are tanks. And behind those tanks are flying artillery shells. There are 2 enormous transport ships in the sky, and their ramps are down, and on their ramps are more people. The Imperium is described as having a million worlds. A million worlds. And each one of them gives soldiers to the Imperial Guard for the tithe. On a given battlefield, in a given fight, Foot soldiers number in the millions, tanks in the tens of thousands, and you have enough artillery to turn the night sky day. You have walkers and APCs and aircraft and horse cavalry and tanks the size of apartment buildings.
So Imperial Guard's probably
And
mad good in
spec
Dawn
ops
of
and
War, huh?
rattling snipers and gigantic ogres that can't count to 4, but they can turn you into 4 pieces, and it just doesn't end. Humanity is a horde army, but instead
Oh, hey,
of
speaking of
horde
Dawn of War,
bugs
at least
or
I think that's what
rampaging
this is,
orcs,
right?
it's a living wall of guns. At the end of the day, though he's been ferried through hell,
Look into the
on a
wars
ship
of
that's
Armageddon. They're really
10,000
good to
years
learn about.
old,
Ew,
to some
neat.
godforsaken war-torn rock. Though he deployed from high
Bro, we're
over
gonna do
nothing
another
but
one of
grass
this.
shoots,
We're gonna do
though
another one of
he is
these Warhammer
of
streams.
10
This shit is
million men and
super
women
interesting.
snatched from his homeworld to fight a war he barely understands. Though he has been given a weapon that fires small suns and may annihilate him as he fires, because the knowledge of how it functions has been lost. Though his company is
Oh, that was
supported by
Ultimate
tractor
Battle
tanks that
Simulator.
run on anything you can
Oh.
burn. Though
Bro,
he
that shit would make
wages
my
war
PC
against
melt.
the devouring hive mind, ravenous demons, and hordes of hyper-advanced aliens with strange technologies and sorceries he never dreamed existed. No one will remember his sacrifice. There will be no records of his deeds, no glorious parades in his honor, and no remembrance of his name. All he will earn is a shallow, unmarked grave on a forgotten world, untold light years from home. Yet for all
I guess it beats
thankless
getting shot
sacrifice,
for
a
running
guardsman
away.
is a man, just like you. He has no millennia-old genetic engineering, no prophetic leader, no miracles of faith. He has his lasgun, his orders, and those beside him. He
I personally
is the
play
Imperial
Tyranids on
Guard,
tabletop. I don't
and he
know
will hold
much
the line.
about them, but they're
In the
hella
end, the
cool. We
Astronaut
love
Tarn,
bugs.
despite
We
fighting
love
for the
alien
honor of the
bugs.
Imperium, are their own form of a massive horde army where individuality does not matter. They are merely numbers. to
They are
the
all
Imperium, and
one the
vast
same.
majority of the conflicts they are sent to are attrition-based battles that gain virtually no ground while countless millions die. Yet this makes them the most human. For the Imperial Guard contains normal people, people who are happy and sad, people who laugh and love, and in there,
I think that's the most fascinating thing about the Imperial Guard is that they're just a bunch of people. They're just a bunch of flesh and blood people, probably no psychers. There's like a bajillion of them, but they're just a bunch of guys, man. They're just a bunch of regular people. There's just so many of them and the indomitable will of the human spirit that they still get it all done.
are stories, because there is strength in facing the horrors of the universe head on with nothing but a rifle in your hands and a prayer on your lips. Armed with an innumerable amount of Imperial soldiers and Space Marines, the Navy begins its great crusade into the stars.
Look at his
to
helmet.
rescue
That shit's
the
cool.
stranded Primarchs and reunite them to their legions. But the biggest question needed to be asked was, what would they find? The age of strife lasted for thousands of years. If a civilization was still alive out there in the galaxy, what would they be like? The technological advancements of humanity prior to and during the Dark Age technology
See you later, Mighty.
was
Thanks for swinging
unfathomable.
by. I appreciate
It allowed
you.
them to spread through
Thanks
the
for
galaxy
hanging
with
out.
ease and allowed
Hopefully
them
I
to
see you
settle
again
once
soon.
inhospitable planets. These branches of humanity were provided with the vast knowledge of human creations and were given gigantic machines to make arduous labor and ease. The spreading of these massive colony ships was known as the Long March, and these ships would be retrofitted into settlements upon arrival to their new homes. Accompanying them were the gigantic pieces of farm equipment that served multiple purposes and the specialized pilots that could maintain them. They were
Are these the
not
farm
only able to
equipment?
tend the
Yep,
fields
it's the
and do
ones that are
labor,
also
but when
mechs.
interstellar communication was cut off, they also did a great job of protecting the colonists against both threats demonic and alien. Because of the significance of these machines, those that could pilot them were powerful enough to be considered leaders, and the upkeep and preservation of the machines and the lineage of those who could pilot them was imperative. These machines, over the thousands
God,
of
they're
years,
so
would eventually
fucking
be known
cool looking,
as the
man. Oh, the Imperial Knights.
He must be humble of heart, strong of arm, be savage in war, loyal to hearth, and follow deeds of glory. He must keep honor with all, banish cowardice from his doings, and bring his house no shame. He must serve the emperor and defend the Imperium, thus should a knight rule himself. The Age of Strife caused these colonized worlds to be cut off from the Imperium, and the reversion of these worlds resulted in the reverence for this farm equipment turned feudal, and the leadership that controlled the
My
devices
favorite faction of
became viewed as a
Battletech
noble
fans.
During the Age of Strife, exploratory fleets from Mars found plenty of these worlds, and it seemed the majority of them reverted to a similar state. Like King Arthur seeing Merlin himself, these feudal worlds welcomed the tech priests of Mars with open arms. The mutual relationship between the Admech
They're basically
and the nobility
magicians,
was
dude.
beneficial. The Admech were able to secure more worlds for mining resources and potentially long-lost STC information, and the noble houses were provided with technological know-how and modifications from the Admech themselves. The suits became more and more specialized, and their history as mere pieces of equipment
Still got the chainsaw
lost
though.
to time. What was once a tractor became
Stop!
a bulldozer,
Not the
and
Thomas the
Imperial
Tank Engine
Knights were
tractor.
born. Unlike other military aspects in the Imperium, the nobility of the Knight houses remains just that. A nobility-focused feudal hierarchy that swears fealty to either the Mechanicum or to Terra. Like the knights in our history, once they swear fealty, they can be called to aid their respective allegiance in the heat of battle. The ones that
Oh,
swear
you'll just get
fealty to
drafted
Terra
in.
are led by the High Monarch, while the ones with the Mechanicum are led by the Princeps. The ones with Terra might be sent directly to the front line of war, while the ones with the Mechanicum tend to be sent to protect the Forge world. And the heraldry of these houses is what you'd expect from a generic history of
I'm
knights.
absolutely
Houses
choosing the
pledging allegiances
Mechanicus
here and
every
there,
single
your
time, dude.
run-of-the-mill War of the Roses aesthetic. Except instead of ponies, you have gigantic death machines. These knights
Same
can't
difference.
be piloted by any old person.
Just one with a little bit
member
less
of
flesh.
The nobility of any given knight house must go through the ritual of becoming. This ritual involves them sitting on the device used to control the knight, known as the Throne Mechanicum, for a full night. What's wrong with that? I mean, sitting in a chair for
Is
a
he
full
hooked
evening
up
sounds
to
pretty
it?
great right about now.
All up in
So,
his stomach?
A pilot cannot drive a knight. They can, but it moves about as effective as Ripley from Aliens 2, big, lifter thing. It
Oh,
is,
no.
in a sense, a beast that must be controlled, and a pilot must merge with it. The mind
Oh,
of the noble is
man.
connected to the machine and must fight with the mental signatures and personalities of the prior pilots as well.
Oh, dude, they're
Everything a knight
iron-blooded
experiences in battle
orphaning
is
it.
felt by the pilot themselves, be it the general movement in the battlefield or damage sustained by the
Broken
machine
Lance,
itself.
official
If a
animation,
knight's
but
leg
not
is
very
blown off in
good.
battle, the
Is that a
pilot could
movie?
experience a
Or is it
broken
just like
bone
a
in
like
the
a
same
film?
spot.
Or
The
like a
merging to
short?
the machine forever changes the mentality of the noble that experiences it. This connection reinforces a strong degree of nobility and honor in the pilot, and a desire to fight for the glory of their house until the bitter end.
Oh, yeah, it's
Their
like an
ancestors'
Evangelion.
minds are
Oh, that
linked
makes sense because
directly to the knight.
literally
The size of these knights can
connected
vary,
to
but
it,
generally
mind
speaking,
and
they
body,
stand in the ballpark of 30 to 50
with a whole
feet
ass
tall and are protected by
mental,
thick
what do you call it in
adamantium
it?
armor. Beyond that, they have
Another
their own
person's
unique ion shield generators that
brain,
give them
essentially,
added
their
protection.
spirit.
And when it comes to their looks, the most common pattern across the Imperium is the Questoris pattern, and is honestly the one you're probably thinking about right now. But there are also smaller versions like Armigers and bigger ones known as the Dominus. As for a loadout, these guys are essentially a violent Mr. Potato Head. Battle cannons, Gatling cannons, heavy
Once you, like, let's say you merge with like one of the smaller, like shittier ones, is it possible for them to rip you out, to like disconnect you from the machine so that you can upgrade to a better one? Or just take you out so that you're not fully merged with the robot anymore?
flamers, thermal cannons, up close and personal? How about a gigantic chainsword or a straight up gauntlet? And for that empty spot up top, screw it. More autocannons, maybe add some missiles. Whatever you can do to make it as over the top as possible, you gotta do it. A squire serves a knight serves a lord serves a baron, and a baron serves a monarch. So who does the monarch serve? He serves every subject, from the rudest serf to the members of the court. Chivalric fealty, when ideally practiced, is not a pyramid, but a circle. Ironically, on the surface, night worlds themselves are one of the least grim-dark settings in the galaxy, reverting to an ancient time with knights and peasants.
Oh, is that the Atelier Rise of Universe?
is almost an escapism from the
The merger is
techno-hell of the
temporary,
modern
only for the
Imperium.
battle?
But
Thank
this, of
fuck,
course,
man.
doesn't make it great for
Thank
everyone.
God.
It sounds fun on paper to play a game of knights, but it's not so fun when you're the peasant of that world. For the knights themselves, the knights give their entire lives to the throne mechanicum, and their reality is not their own, as they have to hear the voices of thousands of generations of their ancestors controlling their actions and their lives for as long as they live. It's a strange
Oh my
dichotomy. When it
God.
comes to Warhammer, most to all jobs tend to be terrible. However,
You just
if there
always
was
lose
one
your
that can be
agency.
considered enjoyable, it would be the pilot of a knight, or a princeps of their larger cousins. While it does contain an egregious amount of hardship to be a knight pilot, you do enjoy a wealth of privilege. A knight pilot is often an asshole who can back it up. The rich noble that, despite his braggadocious behavior, is still very much him, and he will continue to be him. But knights are not the only thing
Dracula
that the
flow of a
Imperium found
Warhammer.
lost in the stars during their Great Crusade.
That has to be a thing, right? There has to be a Dracula Flow Warhammer parody. That's gotta be a thing, right?
Due to the circumstances of the Age of Strife, humans were changing and adapting to their new homes they were now isolated on. Some of these humans evolved over thousands of years to adapt to these areas, and they were known as abhumans. Many abhumans found their way into the Imperial Guard or other lesser positions in the Imperium if they were not wiped out immediately for being too different from their human counterparts. But their abilities and appearance vary from planet to planet, and one particular group of abhumans have made quite a name for themselves in the center of the galaxy.
Hit me with the next title card. AKA the
The
Kin.
origins of what will be known as the Kin start at some point during the Dark Age technology, where their ancestors left a planet that
I don't
is
think we've
very
heard about
much
these
Terra
guys
and
at
went to
all
the
yet.
galactic core to mine it of its resources. They brought along with them everything that they would need for a long-term stay, most important of which were the incredible AI-based supercomputers. Be it guidance, technical or philosophical, schematics, or the ability to upload the memories of a deceased explorer to gather information from them, these computers became an essential part of their everyday life, especially considering that the galactic core is one of the most inhospitable places in the galaxy. It is an exceptionally star-dense location, full of abnormalities, black holes, and sentient hostile nebula. Whatever that
Girl,
last
you need to
part
leave.
means, it is not a
You
safe
need to
and easy
leave.
place to make a living, and this only got worse thanks to the warp storms during the Age of Strife. In order to adapt to this area, these travelers perfected a genetic makeup that made their future clones to be more adept to the area.
Oh, you guys
These
have
future
clones?
would be shorter and more robust than their ancestors, and the need to procreate would be unnecessary because why risk messing up a good employee when you can just make a new one? These would be known as the squats, and they would all die.
Not the
Except for when they
squats,
didn't.
dude.
And now they are known by a different name. Most void-faring races have at least one cautionary tale of foolish explorers vanishing amidst its blazing stellar nurseries and strange anomalies. Yet for the leagues of Voton, the galactic core has been home now for millennia. These squat humanoids would begin to establish themselves in the core, and their goals would be the same as their ancestors. Rock and stone! But like, actually kinda, yeah. Whenever one of them would die, they would know that that sucker would need to be uploaded to the machines like their forefathers did. But the original purpose of these machines was lost to time. What was once a technical resource for them turned into a ritual.
They're
known
too
as
stubborn to
joining
do
the
so.
ancestors.
Oh, you know what?
And the
That's
fact
true.
that they
They're
were clones
dwarves.
at this point meant that the same copy of the same
Oh, shit, they are
individual would be
dwarves, huh?
uploaded countlessly. The sheer overuse of these computers and the repeated uploading of redundant data has turned these once powerful supercomputers into your parents' computer after you
Oh,
install
brother.
on it, and whose 50 Google Chrome tabs definitely contain information they will return to one day. So much corruption that these computers began to develop the makings of a personality of their own. These
Oh
will
my
be
God.
known as the Voton, and the
You guys
king,
gotta
this
stop fucking things
dwarf-like
up.
abhuman of humanity would revere them. The Voton still operate to this day, but the volume of corruption have made anything outside of their very basic functions highly unpredictable. They may not answer a question for centuries at a time.
Bro, that's
and if
what it's
they
gonna
do
look like when
provide
I
an
finally
answer
dust
or
my
data,
computer.
it has become so corrupted and so incongruent that it takes a literal kin wizard to comprehend it. The kin, much like the dwarves of fantasy, exist nowadays as a mercantile species that constantly work to mine and manufacture. However, their capitalistic desires are dangerous. The biggest crimes a kin can face are being lazy, unproductive, and breaking a contract. Stellar conflicts have broken out over over hundreds of years due to the breaking of a deal. So if you signed a contract with a kin, you best stick to it. Because of this, the kin have been known to interact with other species in a fairly common manner. This includes humanity, who have met various
Are you a
members
kin
of
in
the
Rogue
kin
Trader?
multiple times, but constantly considered them to be all a different species. Famously, the Imperium noted that the kin they referred to as the Squats were their own species and were wiped out by the Tyranids. Little did they know, they were still around. The kin are acutely aware of two things. The first is that the humans of the Imperium are deeply terrified of technology, so the sheer existence of the Voton is a secret as well as the truth. This extends also to the Iron Kin, sentient robots that are treated in the same esteem of flesh and blood kin, because kin is kin. The second thing they are aware of is where they're from. They are
made by man.
That they are from Terra, and they know that if this secret was to be known by the Imperium, that the Imperium might want to take ownership of them and everything they've built. So the more alien they
the
are,
Squats were their
the better.
first
Now, this
attempt
sounds
at
fine and
space
good, right? What
dwarves,
could possibly
fucked
be
it
wrong
up,
with
and then
these
brought
guys
them back
besides the
6
hyper late-stage
editions
space
later.
capitalism? Well, we have to go back to their creation. The kin are an entirely clone-based race made from the computers that are exceptionally difficult to recreate. These machines, the Voton, are becoming more and more unpredictable and derelict. If anything were to happen to these machines, it would be a twofold ending of the kin. New kin cannot be reproduced, reducing their numbers, and the existing kin would have no further purpose because the end that awaits them would be non-existent. The horror of the kin civilization is that the entire purpose of their lives is to do the best they can at their duty and upload all they know to the Voton, their ancestor cores, join their ancestors. But doing so is actually the thing that is killing these supercomputers in the first place. The ancestors were dead, but through the first truths, their legacy continued.
I like these
And though
space
their
dwarves.
eyes had
I'm
shut
into
long
it.
ago, indeed, the ancestors were watching, not with a gaze from eons gone.
A lot of self-fulfilling prophecies, a lot of
generation was the
creating your own
ancestors
damnation
casted
in
by the
Warhammer.
The galaxy changed. Stars died, planets were destroyed, and civilizations fell. But as long as the Voton endured, the ancestors still lived. I do want to end this last bit with an enjoyable quote from one Kim. As you may have assumed, the Leagues of Voton are space dwarves with a corporate sci-fi motif, but they are still very much dwarves. They're squat, they're strong as hell, and they hold serious grudges. This
They've got
time
that
it's
rock
just
and stone
more
going
about your
for 'em.
contracts than anything else. And so because of this, they might treat most things about how you would expect a capitalistic dwarf would treat things. You misunderstand, human. I am not here to debate. I am not here to compromise. What you see as yours, I am taking for my kindred. You want to bargain? Torek, unholster our means of negotiation. As the Great Crusade continued, humanity
Hold on, they're
would
kind of
find
badass. Hold
their
on,
missing
Voltan.
Primarchs, reestablish the locations of all of their various worlds, and finally reclaim what the Emperor was always hoping for. But eventually, all the Emperor sought to build would be his undoing. His original attempt to have all of the Primarchs lead his great armies and usher humanity into the better ages would end up crumbling down. And we will learn about how
Crumbling
the Imperium
crumbling
backslides
down.
and the horror of the modern day of 40K in part 2. I will see you very soon. Thank you so much for
Very soon. You're telling me you dropped this shit one after the other? Bricky, how's that possible? 11 months to 9 months? Dude, that's not long at all. That's not long in the slightest. Hold on, he kind of fucking killed it. Bricky kind of went crazy on it, dude. But with all that being said, Chad, thank you so very much for hanging out with me today. That's going to be all of the Warhammer lore for today. Considering we've got an entire part 2, and I'm pretty sure there's also like more Warhammer videos that Bricky has, maybe just like some other Warhammer content in general. Dude, we're gonna come back to more Warhammer. We're definitely gonna come back to more Warhammer. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this stream and you're on the YouTube side, like, comment, subscribe, do that, do all the good YouTube stuff. If you are on the Twitch side, I hope you clipped your best moments. Hope you clipped your favorite moments. Also consider subscribing to the Twitch channel. Thanks, guys. Okay, bye. See you later. Bye. Johnny, when will you see me again? I don't know. Maybe tomorrow. Follow me on Twitter if you want. Okay, bye. Johnny, see ya. Bye. Okay, I'm actually